The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
It is savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's State Fair specials. Deals on deals on deals that can save you thousands. Visit standardheating.com for all their State Fair deals. Standard Heating, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
Let's start the show. Why not start the weekend off with a nice cold beer?
Today is International Beer Day.
You like beer?
Me love beer.
Sure feels like beer club.
The passport.
One beer.
No TV and no beer make Homer something something.
Go crazy.
Don't mind if I do.
2 beers. Why don't we just drink a couple of beers and I can ride off into the sunset? Are you up for drinking a beer with Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Personally, I would like to have a glass of red wine, Vino Rosso, because I tried your beer. It burned my throat. Wine is the drink of a person with a culture.
3 beers.
We're not that drunk.
We're not that drunk. We're not that drunk. We're not that drunk. We're not that drunk.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
Man, I love this. I do. I love below average effort Fridays.
Is that what today has been designated as?
That's what this is. Welcome to the Half-Ass Morning Show. Like, say, if you're asked to do something extra by your boss today, don't do it. And tell him or tell her that it's below. Tell them it's far below average effort Friday. And then I think it'd be a good time to let them know that that's going to be the way it is for every Friday going forward.
Counterpoint, just real quick if I could interject.
Counterpoint.
I love that idea.
Yeah?
But it might I just want to get it out there that it's very possible it'll backfire.
Tell them the Half-Ass Morning Show sent you.
Okay, I didn't consider that. That'll add some legitimacy to it, and that gets you out of everything. You get pulled over for speeding. Tell them the Half-Ass Morning Show said you can go as fast as you want. There's a couple cops out there that listen to the show. Maybe they're cool with it.
Yeah, that's the vibe I've got, Cubby, but
I'm more of a worrier than you are.
Yeah, you are. You worry about what are you worrying about right now? Because you're always worried about something.
Well, it's a little personal.
Is it personal?
I guess I could share it with you guys.
I would hope that you're comfortable. Go ahead.
It's more of a visual thing.
A visual?
Yeah, it's something. Now, Ashley, I'd like you to turn around.
Oh, it's the pecker again.
I will.
No, not necessarily, but involves a pecker.
All right, there's going to be tough on the radio show, of course.
You'll have to describe it. Like I said, it's a visual. I wasn't planning on this, but it's something that has been concerning me a little bit.
Go ahead. What are you doing?
I'm going to do a sex move.
A sex move?
Yeah, and I want you and Wapple.
Oh, God.
Wapple, do I have your consent?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Nick, do I have your consent?
Yes.
Okay.
You're going to...
Ashley, turn around.
Do a sex move, and what would you like from us in return?
Just tell me if it's sexy.
Oh.
You know, my wife's going to be coming back on Sunday, and I'd like to have something for her. Yeah, I want to have something for her. All right,
There's other women you should be making this effort for.
No, she's the one and only, all right?
All right, go ahead.
Let me try it out.
I can't wait to see what you call a sex move. I'll go ahead. I can't wait to see what this
Wapple,
is.
Again, just make sure I have your consent.
Yes.
Move.
Now tell me.
Okay, I see what you're doing. And the question
it's
is...
not over yet.
Oh.
It's not, I'm sorry. I'm serious. One more thing. I got to add something. Ashley, turn around.
Oh, yeah.
No, this is the ugliest thing I've seen all day.
I was down with it.
You were.
Josh, you look like you've never had sex before.
What happened?
Okay.
Wait, no, come on. Like, it looks like maybe I've had a little bit of sex.
No.
Not even one sex.
You've never experienced intercourse with anyone or anything before. I got to tell people what you did.
If you do that, I mean, that's a lot of dexterity.
You think so? See, that's what I thought there was kind of
There was
sex.
zero dex. Okay, I have to tell people what you did.
I mean, Ashley, I wish Dana were here to be a tiebreaker. Ashley obviously can't be involved. And first and foremost, hopefully, listeners, we have your consent to explain what happened.
He was sitting in his chair, Ashley, and he just kind of air humped.
But I got my hands involved.
He had his hands involved, and he got his leg up on the desk.
Yeah, that was part two.
I wasn't done yet.
That's
I was going
two.
to.
Whoops.
When you say get his hands involved, he was, using his arms to
kind of like I was using a
thrust forward.
To thrust.
Like a row machine.
No, like you're skiing and you have the poles and it's helping you
also
propel
a decent, what's the word I'm looking for? A decent example, yes. Kind of like rowing or skiing. And then he put a leg up on the console here and humped without the assistance of his arms. It was terrible.
What if I used my right leg? What if I use my left leg? Does that do anything different? I mean,
no, don't ever do that again. Here or anywhere else, because you will likely never have sex again.
Okay.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. That was terrible.
Like there was nothing redeeming.
There was nothing sexy. It was funny because it was so awkward.
Well, I don't want that.
No, you wanted to be sexy and you failed.
Would it get the job done? I mean, is it adequate? Like it'll pass? Like you could? Technically, it's sex if I had a person there with me.
You're driving yourself nuts.
I told you I was worried about it.
When the wife comes back to town, just stick to missionary. Stick to what got you and the wife to this point. Trying those new moves that you just showed us can only upset things.
Oh, you know what? Upset things. I didn't consider that. If I tried a new move when she came home, she might wonder where I picked it up.
Yeah, she might think that you got it somewhere else.
Dude, I am so glad we had this conversation. I never would have considered something like that.
Well, then she might have laughed you out of the building if she's on Nick's side and been like, no one would ever do that move.
Oh, you're saying like it's such a bad move that she's confident I wouldn't have tried it on somebody else?
I don't know any woman who would have appreciated what I just saw.
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to be a jerk to my coworkers, but what you just saw, that display of what you just saw, and I worked on it all last night, so it's a little disappointing. What you just saw.
I worked on it all last night.
I'm exhausted.
Yes.
It's got to be better than what anybody else can bring. Don't you think?
No.
No, picture Dana and Wapple.
Oh, well, Dana
Dana
can't do sex. Dana, who is gone again today, he's out of town. Anybody's better at, my assumption is, anybody is better at sex moves than Dana.
Ooh, I kind of think he'd be terrible at it.
Yeah, I don't know
awful.
what it is, but I just,
You guys think I'm better at the sex than Dana?
Not by much, but yes.
My Friday's made.
Wapple, I want to bang your brains out.
With that move. I want that move.
All right, so, okay, Josh. This is something you no longer have to worry about because, number one, your best friend has told you that was awful, that's not sexy at all, and you even kind of answered your own question. Probably best not to use those moves on the wife because then she's going to, after she goes away out of town for the weekend, because then she's going to suspect you've been seeing somebody on the side. So let's just never do that again.
I got to say, I mean, it hurts a little bit, but I do appreciate your honesty. You saved me from a potential fight, from some embarrassment.
Man, that was bad. Yeah.
I'm sure that wasn't easy on your part. You don't like to play the heel.
No.
But you were nice enough to kind of, save your buddy.
Even when you got a leg up, that only made it worse.
Can I be honest? My crotch kind of hurts from the stretch.
Yeah.
I'm not used to stretching like that.
Does anyone remember the old John Mellencamp song? Yeah, get a leg up. Get a leg over, boy. I love that old song by John. You guys know that one?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Get a leg up, he said. I ain't that handsome.
Is there a small chance that, you get up from your nap today, and for a split second you think, you know what, maybe that wasn't as bad as
I want to stop talking about it.
It was that bad.
Jesus.
Hey, at least I'm better than Dana.
Yes, you are. No question.
I have that for me, too.
What else is going on around here? So, like I said, it's...
Thank you for tolerating that, Ashley, by the way.
Of course, anytime.
Yeah, it was weighing on me.
It's a far below average effort Friday. We do have this and that ahead of us on today's program. Hopefully a far below average effort will be enough to get it done. At 8 a.m. By then, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder will be on the line with us. At 8 a.m., another edition of Who Dis? Do you have the Who Dis intro sounds over there?
Oh, boy, hold on.
I mean, no, there's no hurry. No hurry. At 8 a.m., another edition of Who Dis? So the way we work that out, we get a well-known, big-time, famous effing somebody lined up to call into the show at 8 a.m., and through a series of yes or no questions, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder will have to figure out who the F it is on the telephone. Who dis?
That'll be fun. And you know what? The gentleman or lady, oh, nice. The person we have on today, we've heard many, many times is very cool. And it's somebody we've been hoping to talk to for a long time.
That is what we've heard.
Like not only just a cool, really funny person, but a great person for the community in which they live in.
I'm super excited.
Most of you ought to know. Right.
I think everybody listening knows this person.
All right.
It's hard, though, because he's someone I haven't heard speak a lot. I've certainly seen him interviewed, seen him, or, God darn it, I don't know why I'm gendering this person. I'm just, this individual.
Your brains, the blood that was...
All right, forget it. It's a guy. All right. So
the blood that was up into your brain earlier rushed down to your Johnson when you were doing those 6 sex moves, and now
I did. Yeah. So he's from all we've heard. I mean, we were told when he first came to town.
It's too late now. It's too late.
When he first joined the Vikings, we were told that he's like a guy you want to have on the air with you.
Why don't you just say who it is, and we won't do the segment.
Well, it's not like Brad Ryder and Randy Shaver's
not
listening now.
No, don't. Because someone will tweet them or text them.
I didn't even consider. Don't bust
that.
us. Please don't bust us. Otherwise, you're going to have to see that sex move I had earlier.
Yeah.
I'm going to send that to your phone.
Don't want to see it.
Nope.
Here's Josh. Here's Josh over here. You know, he's doing everything that he was taught in his early days of radio. Hype an upcoming guest. Get folks excited about it. Tell them the positives that you've heard about this guest, and it kind of backfired on you.
Oh, big time.
But you still haven't given away. I mean, I guess you mentioned what friggin' team the guy plays for.
Well, I didn't mention he was a defensive lineman. If I would have said that.
Son of a bitch.
What have I done?
You're a victim of, you're what folks taught you. You know what I mean? You're hyping it. You're trying to sell it, and then you think, "Oh God, I've said too much."
We're all excited about it.
That's one of the dangers of the Who Dis segment.
Yep.
It could be about. I was going to say it could be anybody, but at this point, after what Josh did, it could be about 4 or 5 different guys.
That's about it.
Really narrowed it down.
5 minutes ago, it could have been anybody. Now it could only be about 4 or 5 different guys.
Could have been anybody from any discipline, not just an athlete. It could have been an actor, could have been a man, could have been a woman, could have been someone born a man, turned a woman, born a woman, turned a man. Could have been anything. Hey, I don't want to put you on the spot, Nick.
What now?
But
last time you put us on the spot, it was terrible.
I know. I shouldn't
now?
do that, especially since it's a date, because every day I get to spend with you is a date. Officially, it's a date. I saw a listing for a home in North Carolina.
North Carolina.
It's expensive. I mean, it's going for $788,000, so out of the price range. But it's very tempting based on the description of the house. Do you mind if I hand it to you and you just read it? Nick hasn't seen this yet.
Sounds like fun. No, I have not.
You can stop when you understand why I'm interested in making that purchase.
You're looking around online. You see a house for sale in North Carolina. Flair country.
It is.
And there's something or another in here interesting in the description of the home. And you think it'll smack me right in the yap.
I think so, yeah.
When I get to the part. Okay. Motivated seller. This is a motivated seller. That sounds like it would...
You can negotiate a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to hear that. If I was looking for a house, I would like to hear that there's a motivated seller. Mm-hmm. Discover the majestic mountains of western North Carolina.
North Carolina.
From this 3,342 square foot luxury home on Leatherwood Mountain.
That's a big house.
Sounds like a cool mountain.
And a cool sounding spot. Dude. Leatherwood. From the decks, you can enjoy beautiful, layered mountain views and breathtaking sunsets. The main level has an open floor plan, fully equipped kitchen with prep sink and island seating.
Oh, that's
nice. That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
I like that kitchen.
There is plenty of seating and a cozy gas fireplace, all adjacent to the dining area. Now, I haven't come across anything
Not
here.
yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. The laundry/mudroom is conveniently located just off the kitchen. The lower level has a bonus room, seating area, game tables, and a full bath. The lower level has a bonus room, seating area, game tables, and a full bath. Okay, nothing there. The spacious, at least as far as I can tell, nothing there. The spacious master suite is on the second level with a jetted soaking tub and newly updated bath with glass and tile wank-in shower.
Have you ever had a wank-in shower?
What?
That's why it's so expensive. A wank-in shower.
That's why it's $788,000. Can you imagine you're building a home and you tell your contractor, I'd really like a wank-in shower. Make it special. What would you guys put in your wank-in shower?
A TV.
Oh, sure.
Oh, definitely.
You could connect it to the internet?
Yep.
Couple extra towels, I guess.
Soap dispenser, but for lotion.
Yeah, like a lube dispenser.
Yeah.
Right in there.
Lotion. What are you, an amateur? Oh, the poor bastard who wrote this up.
Yeah, I know. Is that when do you fire your realtor and call Chris Lindahl or visit chrislindahl.com? That's Chris with a K.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'd call the John Schuster Group. But anyway. The friggin' wank. Oh, wow. Also, they have 2 tennis and pickleball courts over at this joint. This is a fancy joint.
Wow, yeah.
Even if the shower was not wank in. It's a fancy joint.
Sometimes I wonder if, so that's gone a little viral because of that, the misspelling. You almost wonder if they do that on purpose. Sometimes you'll have a realtor that'll dress up as a stormtrooper and pose in every picture.
Oh, I love when they do that.
Or like Jason Voorhees or something.
Well, for a while, I haven't seen one of these in a stretch of time, but for a while, Josh, it seemed like everyone who put their house up for sale, oh, for Christ's sake, they accidentally, when they were taking pictures of certain rooms, they accidentally were naked.
Oh, yeah.
And the mirror in the room caught the reflection of their sexy naked body.
Right.
Accidentally. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's crazy how it was placed in that perfect position.
That
oopsies. And you know how it is when you're taking pictures. You're usually nude.
You're completely nude. And the first time it happened, I thought, well, that's embarrassing. And then it happened again and again. And I said, well, these freaking people are just trying to sell their damn house.
Yeah. They figured it out.
Cute tricks.
They cracked the code. Backyard haircut, Jesus says, every shower is a wank-in shower.
Ain't that the damn truth? All right, also this morning, we're coming at you with something brand new later on this morning. 8:30, maybe earlier. We'll try to get to it even earlier than 8:30, but, right in that neighborhood. Everybody loves they pets. And you want to keep them as healthy as possible. And we really, I think, were kind of woken up to how much our listening audience loves their pets. In some past conversations when we asked folks, hey, send us a picture of your dog, your pet, your cat, whatever, we had so much response, we thought, wow, we've got a lot of, animal lovers in our audience, and we thought, we should try something along those lines. So today, we've got a professional coming in studio to answer questions for you about your pet. Dr. Andrea is her name. She runs Gurman Animal Hospital in Minnetonka. She's a veterinarian. I've been a customer for decades. So Dr. Andrea is going to swing by, and just like we do with Dr. P. Jesus, you can text in with a question about your pet, your pet's health and or well-being.
So we met with her yesterday. She's awesome. That was my first time meeting her. She's great, and I think people are going to love her. And she's like, well, what should I expect? And we're saying, it's the first time. We threw out some things that might come in. But she's like, well, the Dr. P segment, it's similar to that, right? So what do people usually text him? And so we had mentioned, it's a lot of genitalia questions.
Yeah.
And so she even said, so maybe like dog ejaculate and things like that.
Yes.
Right? Very much so. That might show up.
Yep.
People might ask questions about that.
Right, similar to what we got going on with Dr. P. You can go ahead and text in with questions or comments about the health and well-being of your pet. My dog does this. My cat vomited that. Why does my dog eat its poop? And can I eat some of it too? Whatever concerns you have, you can text them in and ask Dr. Andrea.
Yeah,
I should be banned from asking any questions, or else I'm going to take up the whole time.
We mentioned that yesterday.
You work here, so you should allow the listeners to ask their questions, and then maybe you can talk to Dr. Andrea off air. That was a fear of ours yesterday.
We did warn
No,
her.
I've already asked the vet that I go to all the questions that I have.
Well, the vet that you go to isn't as good as Dr. Andrea. Not nearly as smart.
We also said, Ashley may cry. It's very possible that Ashley, out of joy, tears of joy, which we'll be talking about animals so much.
It does make me happy.
So we're looking forward to our first crack at that bit. I think it's going to be fun. Like Josh said, she's one cool gal. I think she'll really enjoy it, and I think our listeners will too. It's a beer-related holiday.
International Beer Day.
Fair enough. After this week, it's felt like kind of a long week. I might
have a couple.
I might get into the Steve Weisers tonight. And back to our 7:30 segment with Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder, and then eventually a game of, well, not a game, a Who Dis segment. Randy Shaver, he might not be in the greatest mood this morning.
Didn't go well at pickleball?
I stopped by his pickleball event last night at Pints and Paddles up in Maple Grove, and he was working his ass off out on the pickleball court. I walked up, I caught him between matches, and he was just pouring sweat, and he was mad at himself for not performing terribly well on the pickleball court up to that point of the evening.
We've mentioned it before. I think he's the most competitive person I've ever met.
Mm-hmm. I watched a few more, matches. Randy out there on the pickleball court, and he wasn't at his best. So I think he's going to be a little pissed at himself because of his competitiveness, and I think he is going to be exhausted. He texted last night and said, "Hey man, thanks for stopping by the event." And I said, "You should be in a friggin' ice bath right now." So I don't know. But it was a cool event and a hell of a lot of people. This is going to go on all weekend. Pickleball events, raising money for the Randy Shaver Cancer Research Fund. I'm really glad I stopped by, and there were some really, really good pickleball players. It's just Randy was not one of them.
Poor Randy.
So we got that going on, too. We'll see how old Grandpa Randy, that's what he is now. He is a grandfather.
He's a proud grandpa.
We'll see what that son of a bitch has to say. All right, we ought to get going again, unless you got any more sex moves you want to try out.
That was the only two. If you have a suggestion for me off air, apparently I could use the help.
God help us, Josh. That was good stuff. All right, we will be back in a couple of minutes, I promise, here on the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show.
Did you know that Standard Heating opened its doors over 90 years ago? That's right. Tony Ferreira opened the doors in 1930, now ran by his granddaughter Claire Ferreira. Call Standard Heating and Air Conditioning today and experience the customer service and care that holds true today.
It is savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's State Fair specials. Deals on deals on deals that can save you thousands. Visit standardheating.com for all their State Fair deals. Standard Heating, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930.
We're all juggling life, a career, and trying to build a little bit of wealth. The Brown Ambition podcast with host Mandy and Tiffany, the budgetnista, can help.
Let's talk about the financials behind locks. It can be quite pricey, but as your hair locks, it needs way less product. When I had my fro, it was way more costly as it relates to products because my fro was thirsty.
No, it's very expensive. Yeah.
Yes. I need the whole bottle. So
what, a dime-sized portion of what?
Girl, the laughter.
Brown Ambition.
Wherever you listen.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
India's had a bad week. It's not just you, Ashley and Wapple. India has also had a bad week.
Huh. Thought I was having a good week.
Nope. Kind of been one of your worst.
A couple of days ago, we told you the story from India about the threesome in the blue Corvette. And I know what you're saying. You're saying, a threesome in a blue Corvette? That doesn't sound bad. Well, no, it doesn't, until you hear the rest of the story where the driver was drunk while having a threesome. He crashed the Corvette into a median. There were children in the car. The children got hurt in the crash and had to be taken to the hospital. That qualifies as bad, I think, in most people's eyes. The lady who was taking the brunt of the threesome, she also had to go to the hospital. And now this leadoff story is the friggin' cherry on top for India this week. I'm not making this up. It says here, one man stabbed another to death over the old argument, which came first, the chicken or the F me running egg?
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Can you believe it?
No. I can't believe people are really arguing about that.
This godforsaken tragedy took place last week. The two fellers had been drinking quite a bit, and they got into the chicken or the egg conversation. Now, in my opinion, you got to be absolutely annihilated to be having that discussion as a grown person. I think the last time I heard that effing stupid debate, Josh, I think I was 4 years old watching Sesame Street.
I think it's something similar. I was very young. The last time I heard somebody seriously talk about it. Although, Wapple, you get high a lot. It seems like a high guy conversation. Does that come up?
Not too often, no.
So it says here now, the two fellers did not know each other at all before the night of the incident. According to the... Excuse me?
The incident?
It's an incident, all right.
The incident, yes. According to the cops, the two of them were drinking at a local bar, and they started joking and exchanging riddles, including the debate over whether the chicken or the egg came first. One of the two, a dude called DR, got so pissed, he left the bar, went home, and came back with some kind of sharp weapon. When the maniac bastard walked back into the joint, he stabbed the other guy, a dude called Kadir. He stabbed Kadir 15 times until he was killed dead.
Oh, my God.
It's disgusting. You know, we were joking earlier about, I said I wanted a gun knife. Somebody mentioned something like that, and I mentioned that'd be kind of cool to have.
A gun knife.
This thing looked like a gun knife.
Did it?
Yeah, it's shaped like a gun. I've never seen a knife like this before.
Yeah, maybe it's something they only sell over there in India.
Maybe.
Another game of dagger tag.
What's the dumbest argument you guys have ever heard where it got really heated? Like the topic, obviously there's more to it than the argument, right? It's pride. It's whatever it is. You're not. There's no way you're that passionate about it, but it leads to something ridiculous.
There's something there, but I can't quite find it. I could answer this question, but you might have to give me a couple of minutes. Yeah, great question, and I know there's something from my past. I just can't quite piece it together right now.
Oh, I thought of one that I was involved with that probably got too serious. Me and my boyfriend had an argument once about if we would rather fight an alligator or a wolf. And I said a wolf, and he says an alligator. And it was, it's harmless at first, but eventually we started getting very upset about it. I was like, there's no way you could take an alligator. You're stupid. You're stupid.
Yeah, you can't take an alligator.
Well, especially when the correct answer is a bear anyway.
There's a third answer.
There's a third answer.
Boss Lady Sheeza said she once saw a couple who had been together for 2 years argue over a bite of sandwich. The argument lasted 2 days, and yes, they got physical.
Oh, my. Whoa.
I know I've been involved in one of these, and I know I've witnessed them. I just can't come up with it.
There's one that, just like you said, there's one, it's just right there. I can't come up with it, but I do remember one that was pretty stupid, and it was between two guys about whether or not a Suzuki Katana was a good buy, if that was a good motorcycle to buy.
What in the world? I love it.
Keep in mind, one guy rode, the other guy didn't. The other guy, he just would read articles.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But he was the more confident one.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The first guy was like, I don't know if that's something I'd want to get. And that thing, we were at a Perkins, I'll never forget. One guy threw a fry at the other guy. They got pretty pissed off.
I mean, I do remember one that was called stupid, but I don't think it was a stupid argument. Me and a pal were up north at Zorba's up in Grand Rapids.
Ooh, love that place.
This pal of mine lives on an island out on Pekegama there. And so we were pontooning back from the bar to his cabin on the island in the middle of the night. Everyone had been drinking quite a bit. Me and my buddy, we both had quite a few Steveweisers, and we were given some other dude a ride on the pontoon who I'd never met before. My buddy says, this is Donnie. I'm giving him a ride to his place on the lake. So I had never met Donnie. He had never met me. And all I said while we're drunkenly pontooning across the water in the middle of the night is I said, I think I said to my buddy, I wasn't talking to Donnie at all. I said to my buddy, the Twins ended up winning tonight. And this Donnie guy went nuts on me. He's one of these all in on extreme sports. Doing 100 flips on a snowboard, snowmobile backflips, you know what I'm talking, like X Games type stuff. He's all in on that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But he blew up at me and just unloaded on the fact, in his mind it's a fact, that you don't have to have any talent to play baseball. None at all. It's all luck, was his argument.
It's all luck.
All luck. He said to me, and I tried to behave at first because I don't know the guy at all, and he's a friend of my friends. So I don't want to be a prick here. But I said, explain to me the luck. And he said, when you step up into a batter's box at the major league level, any of us could get a hit because all they do is they close their eyes. They just guess. It's all luck. And it was so baseless and ridiculous what this guy was saying. He specifically picked on baseball. Those guys are talentless. More or less what this guy's problem is that he wishes his extreme sports that he loves so much was recognized on the same level as baseball. And maybe that should be the case. But the way he went about it was ridiculous. He made himself out to be a massive moron. And after a while, I did blow my stack. And I just said, you have got to be one of the most ignorant morons I have ever seen in my life. And when we dropped them off, I said, I hope you fall in the lake and drown, you friggin' prick. Anyway, the next morning, that argument was called stupid. I don't think it was stupid. That guy was stupid.
No, I don't think that was stupid. That would infuriate me.
I had every right to react and say, look, pal, I've never even met you, and you're yelling at me about comparing baseball talent to snowmobiling, whatever. So I didn't think it was stupid. I thought I had every right to go after this friggin' idiot.
I think you did.
Thank you, Ashley.
Yeah, I think so, too. The only thing I can think of is, like, something like that, it might be a case where you're like, this guy is so dumb, it's not even worth arguing. But, that's different. Like, you can say that now, but I wasn't just being yelled at by the guy. You're on the defensive right away.
It was ridiculous. You'll like this part, Ashley. So then, obviously, my buddy and I get back to his cabin. We crash. We dropped off stupid ass. We get back to the cabin. We crash. The next morning, stupid ass calls the cabin to talk to my buddy, and he says, "Hey, tell your friend I'm sorry about last night." And so my buddy puts his hand over the phone and says, "Hey, Donnie wants to say sorry about last night." And I said, "Take your hand off the receipt." And my buddy, I said, F off.
Yes.
I'm not accepting your apology. And I never, ever want to see you again. And if I do, I'm going to punch you in the jaw.
This text says, I know a couple guys who almost fist fought each other over what brand of oil is better.
Good Lord.
Sleepy Driver Jesus said, my wife and I got into a giant argument because I left the frozen waffles out of the freezer for 20 minutes. Seriously, nearly divorced. How effing stupid, he said.
Oh, I'll tell you one more. How about this? And this also involves my buddy with the cabin on Pekegama. He was there for this, too. He was a spectator for this, too. A drunken argument at the bar over which town was better, Champlain Park or Anoka. It was so dumb. So dumb. One of the guys was like, yeah, well, we got the park with the slides and the swing set. The other guy, well, we got a water tower with it.
You both suck.
Where again, my pal from Pekegama had to step in between these two guys and say, nobody cares, shut up!
I can remember the time where I was the most offended for the dumbest reason. And that's when my wife and stepdaughter said I couldn't be a rapper. I had said, like,
took that pretty hard.
Well, it got to the point where I was kind of frustrated. And so, because my wife especially, she loves listening to it, right?
Yeah.
And some of it, I'm like, it's just talking. Now, I agree, I'm not cool, but that could be my gimmick, right? All I got to do is put on a goofy outfit.
Yeah.
Put on, like
DJ Dorksicle.
Yeah, DJ. Oh, there already is a marshmallow, but yeah, I dress up as something stupid.
Right.
DJ Pickle. Right. And I'm a pickle with big googly eyes.
Right.
Oh, fun.
And that's kind of, and big like Coke bottle glasses. And I'm a rapper.
Yeah.
And I told my wife, like, I could record it at home. I bet I could have a career doing that compared to what you listen to.
I promise that you could do that.
Especially nowadays, right? You can get famous for going, Haktua, spit on that thing.
Right,
I thought I could probably get something like that going.
You could absolutely have a #1 rap single with your skills in editing music and sounds and this and that. I absolutely think you could create a hit. So
I told them, I'm like,
you had every right to be mad.
And they were like very, very condescending. And so it's so stupid that I got offended by this. I'm like, so you don't think at all? Like, there's no chance at all. And I was giving her examples of people that shouldn't have careers in rap. And I'm like, so you think that there's not even the slightest chance I could just use those gimmicks to try and have some sort of following?
You have to promise me something. If you ever make this rap single, you have to end the song by going, 1. Will you do that for me?
I did tell her, I said, once I become the biggest rapper on the face of the planet, you owe me an apology.
Oh.
And you're not allowed backstage.
All right. We got to move on, or we'll probably get in a silly argument. Oh, God. Okay, so is this more violence? No. Yeah, well, yeah, this is more violence. It doesn't come from India. I mentioned India had a bad week. This is right here in America. And just like the story from India, chicken was again the subject of conversation when wild, violent acts were committed. Our first story, 2 guys are arguing over which came first, the chicken or the egg. It ended in murder. Here's another where chicken came into play and violence cut loose. This time we're talking about a place called Georgetown County, South Carolina. A brother and a sister got themselves arrested and charged with assault after an argument about chicken turned into a colossal scrap. And at, of all places, they grandma house. We were always on our best behavior whenever we went to our grandma house.
Oh, yeah.
You had to be.
Not the case here.
I lived with one grandma, but the other grandma, definitely. You go over there, best behavior.
Our folks would just straight up warn us. If you are not on your best behavior at grandma house, we'll beat your ass.
I never had better table manners than I went to my grandparents' house.
That's where you executed your best. Anyway.
But my grandpa was a World War II vet, and he'd put you in your place if you decided to not have your best behavior at his house.
He didn't want grandkids.
I don't think he even wanted kids.
No. As awful as this turned out to be, this story I'm about to dump on you, as awful as this turned out to be, it's also one of the funniest, most ridiculous stories I've heard all week. I hope you like it too. The situation began when a young dude by the name of Anthony Harper and his sister, Hope Harper, got into an argument over some chicken that Anthony was cooking up. At one point or another, Hope called Anthony a, quote, dumb dog. And that didn't sit well with Anthony. So he shoved her into a table and punched her in the cake hole about 5 times.
You can't do that to your sister.
And here we go. The two of them went at it like effing Wolverines. It says here that during the all-out brother versus sister fight, quote, someone else jumped in and started throwing haymakers too. So now it's suddenly a 3-way title bout. There was another, quote, someone else there as well. That second someone else tried to squash the fight by walking into the room and firing off a 9mm handgun into the ceiling.
Yeah, that usually works.
And that stopped everyone dead in their tracks, and the fight was over. No, it wasn't. Hope went into the kitchen and grabbed a steak knife and started swinging the knife at her brother. He protected himself best he could. He was sure he was about to be killed. And then Grandma tagged in. Grandma grabbed a broom and started beating Hope over the skull with the broom, trying to keep Hope from killing her own brother. Hope took enough broom shots to the dome that she backed away from her brother, and it was over.
That was crazy.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, no.
Anthony grabbed a can of Raid bug spray and sprayed it deep into Hope's eye sockets. Hope got the can away from Anthony and sprayed him in his eyeballs with Raid.
I'd imagine that could do some serious damage.
Oh, yeah.
Both of them, blinded and in great pain, finally, for real this time, shut it down, and the fight was over.
So there's a gun, there's a knife, there's a broom, and there's some Raid.
Yes.
Brother, sister, grandma.
And a couple other people we don't know.
Both Anthony and Hope decided to press charges against each other. They were both arrested. And so endeth one of the great interfamilial rumbles in the history of Georgetown County, South Carolina.
You don't come back from that as a family.
Over bland chicken.
Yeah.
I love the fact that Grandma said, you know what? I'm going to haul off and kill somebody with this broom to try to squash this. Grandma.
I could see the grandma I grew up with, living with, I could see her definitely kicking your ass with the broom.
Neither of my grandmas had that in them. Not even close. I love that one. That's great.
Mine had a temper, for sure.
Docile. My grandmothers were docile. Okay, where are we? What time is it? What the hell is something wrong with the time?
What do you mean?
No.
It's only 6:35?
Mm-hmm. People don't advertise on this radio station anymore.
I just thought I really anticipated I was going to look at the clock and it was going to say 10 to 7. I feel like I've been talking forever. It's Friday. I don't know what I'm doing.
You gave a lot of effort already.
Too much, probably.
Yeah, you promised you weren't going to.
Yeah.
I didn't make any promises.
What the hell?
All right, some of you might be thinking, Damn, this has been a violent episode of the Stupid News. So much violence. Some of you might be saying, doesn't anybody just put an eel up their ass for sexual gratification anymore? Yes. Some folks do. 31-year-old guy in Vietnam nearly killed himself. You see what happened is he fired a live eel up his wazoo. And the damn thing, of course, tried to eat its way out. And that's not gonna do good things for your tummy, Josh.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
Oh, God.
Snot?
I got a...
Eel?
Oh, do you have a nose eel? Yeah, he's digging in his nose.
Something. I need some. What do you call it? Kleenex around here. So here comes the dude into the hospital a few days ago. His stomach hurts like a bitch. When the doctors asked him, what he's been doing, what he's been eating and whatnot, he told the doctors, "Well, I keistered a live eel around noon today." That's what he said.
You did what?
Keistered a eel. They dumped him onto an operating, how do you say that, Josh? Operating table. They dumped him onto an operating table real quick. They tried reaching in there through the dude's back door and coaxing the eel out with treats and squeaky toys. But the eel was stubborn. It didn't want to come out the guy's can. So they had to crack the poor bastard's stomach open. They grabbed the eel out of there. But it had done some damage. It had bitten through the guy's rectum and colon.
Oh, my God.
To try and escape.
Oh.
I want video of that, I do. Of an eel eating its way through somebody's insides.
I'd imagine it's like Alien, at one point it just burst through their cavity of their chest.
Oh, my gosh. That is so gross. This is a bad one.
You can't blame the eel for acting like that, right, Josh?
No, that's just, eel just went eel.
He's trying to survive.
Yeah, he wants to get out, and he wants to get up somebody else's butt.
Butt eels, no!
One more note here. While the doctors were, sifting around in the guy's guts, they also found a whole lemon.
What?
Says here they extracted a whole lemon, and they pulled that through his anus. Maybe just for laughs. I don't know. The guys, why didn't they just take the lemon out of his stomach? You know what I mean? Because they had him cracked open. They saw the lemon, but they decided to pull that through his ass. I mean,
teach him a lesson, I guess. I don't know.
Pushing.
You guys want to just reach in there and snatch that lemon? No. Let's pull it out of his ass. Let's see how he likes that.
Maybe he requested that. Or maybe his insurance premium ran out.
Oh.
That's all he could afford.
This poor guy, I don't know what he's doing. What are you doing? His guts were all torn up, but he's going to make her.
I mean, you could just buy a...
toy?
Yeah. I'm sure there's probably a toy eel out there for kids, or a snake or something.
Maybe he's a little short on sex toy money.
But I suppose the movement is probably something for him, right? Don't you think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. That's what he's going for. He wants something squirming around his insides. I think I would likely blow my brains out within 30 seconds if I had that sensation.
Oh, yeah, me too.
This was a first for the doctors, pulling an eel out of somebody, so they were pretty pumped about it, if that makes you feel any better. They took a picture with the eel and everything, like a trophy fish. It's our first butt eel. Come on, guys, smile. Get in here, Donnie. Donnie, you had something to do with it. You pushed the gurney in here. Get Donnie in the picture.
I wonder if what kind of training they have. Medical school. Do they have stool? That'd be perfect. They talk about pulling things out of butts. It seems like anytime we talk about it, folks that work in emergency rooms or doctors will text in and say, "You would be surprised how often that is."
It's probably a whole unit by this point.
It is a whole unit.
Yeah, I bet they have a special group.
I bet that's a fun class, don't you think?
Yeah, sure.
It's like, you got your respiratory system 101, and then all of a sudden, right after that, after lunch preferably, you go to the butt class and just learn about all the different things you might pull out of one. Probably make it a competition, like who can pull the coolest thing out.
I bet that professor's pretty cool, too.
Yeah. That's the cool... Like, that professor refuses to have you call them by their last name.
Yep.
No, guys, it's Greg. They're the cool teacher.
I'm the butt guy. Greg.
Mr. Hammerberg? No.
Please.
You guys call me Grant.
That's my father's name.
Right. What are the questions here? Comments, text messages coming in. We're at 651-989-9393. Lake Street Handshake Jesus says, when life gives you lemons, you stick one of them up your can. How big was the eel? A listener wants to know. She was an 11-footer. Oh, wow. 11-foot skis. Yogurt. More or less a useless food product, if you ask me, but yogurt has gone ahead and saved some lives in a neighborhood called Kirkland, Washington. You want to know how? I'll tell you. A dude woke up in the middle of the night craving a snacky snack. And unfortunately, all there was in the fridge was a jar of yogurt.
Oh,
but, but what are you going to do? He's hungry. But before the guy could even scoop any of that swill into his unlucky mouth, he looked out the window and noticed that a house or two in his neighborhood were on running fire. So he ran out of his own house, ran into the houses, woke everybody's asses up, and everybody got out before the fire burned him up. And now he and his yogurt are being hailed as heroes.
I love they throw the yogurt in there.
Mm-hmm. The heroes.
That's not like a midnight snack I would think of right away.
No.
Like I said, I think the guy was screwed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all that's left.
That
Definitely.
Was all. The hero's name is Kyle Eskelin and Yogi the Yogurt. Those are the two heroes. Kyle said, "It was a weird feeling later. I went back to my kitchen and saw Yogi the Yogurt sitting on the counter still. I looked and I thought, this was the yogurt that saved lives." Dramatic stuff, huh?
Yeah.
2 houses in the neighborhood on fire.
I've never seen a house fire, thank goodness. Just
Really?
the aftermath. Really? So you have, obviously.
Yeah, when we were younger, there was a fire in our neighborhood, and we were nosy kids, so we rode our bikes over there.
Oh, of course. I bet everybody was coming out of their house to check it out.
Dude.
That's terrifying.
And now that I think about it, there was another abandoned house across the street, and they used that for the fire department. The fire department burned it down, and they used it to practice putting out fires.
Oh, is that the one where they got the wrong address?
Yeah, it was my house.
Oh, that is unfortunate. You know what? We missed the obvious. Trucks should be low, Jesus. Reminds us, he says, come on, they were using the eel to get the lemon out. Sure.
You send the eel in.
Get the lemon.
To fetch the lemon. Yeah, when I was a kid, one of my best friend's houses burned to the friggin' ground.
Oh, that's too bad.
I didn't see it.
Everybody okay, I'm assuming?
Yeah, the dog and cat got killed.
Oh, no.
And the dog was one of the best dogs. Anyway, but I did see one. Also, when we were little kids, I was over at Pistol Pete's house. Pistol Pete from across the street. Me and my brother and sister were over at Pistol Pete's place with his folks watching a movie, and suddenly there was this wicked glow coming through the window. We opened up the drapes, and the house across the street was full on fire. And Pistol Pete's old man ran over there. Luckily, everyone got out the house, but when you're a 9, 8-year-old kid, that was something to see, by God, I'll tell you that. Right across the friggin' street, the whole thing was just blazing.
Did they ever figure out what happened?
I don't know. If they did, I was too young to remember the story.
I was asking, do they have training when you become a doctor to get things out of butts, because it seems like it's so common?
Yeah.
Jiu-Jitsu Jesus said, actually, Hasbro has an Operation Anal Edition. So you can play Operation and it's all butt stuff.
Operation Anal. You guys know anybody in Lincoln, Nebraska who's missing 9 pounds of meth rocks?
Not that I'm aware of.
It says here, someone left 9 pounds of meth rocks in a rental car. So let them know, I guess. Anyone in our listening audience who knows someone in Lincoln, Nebraska that's missing 9 pounds of meth, let them know the cops are looking for them. The cops just want to return the meth to its rightful owners. No questions asked. They also have tickets to this year's Super Bowl waiting for you, so just give them a call.
Someone's going to call.
Yeah, I think if your second prize is a big screen television to watch the Super Bowl.
9 pounds of meth in a rental car. I'll tell you. You know what message that sends to me, Josh? If someone has 9 pounds of meth rocks,
what's that?
They're going to try and sell it to someone.
I would think so.
I should be a narcotics agent.
Yeah, how much? I don't have any experience with meth. I only have one friend that I know for sure has done it. He no longer does. But how much do you use?
I don't know. I know nothing.
I haven't done meth, but if it's anything like weed, I mean, a couple grams.
So how long would a pound of weed last a guy like Waffle?
Boy.
Lord.
A long time?
That could be a while. Could hold me off for a while.
Like, what do you mean? Just give me an idea.
Probably about maybe a month and a half, 2 months.
And a half?
Yeah. I don't know dick about meth there, Cubby.
Yeah.
Sorry. Got a couple of cousins I could call over the weekend, too, if you really want an answer to the question.
Yeah, they don't really give you many answers when you look it up. Just a lot of, do you need help? There's websites.
Omaha Jesus said he'll find a guy for us. He's in Nebraska.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. We got to wrap her up here. I drive a Ford, and I do love it. And I love this idea here because I do enjoy being a dick. And I'm even more proud to be a Ford driver. When I read this, we Ford people, we're totally going to ruin some people's days in the future, and I'm really excited about this. The Ford Motor Company is attempting to patent a camera system that reports speeding vehicles to the police. Now, here's how this works, if you didn't piece that together quite properly in your skull. When you dump one of these cameras into a vehicle, it can detect a nearby vehicle traveling over the posted speed limit. It will use these onboard cameras to capture an image of the speeder, and then it will be able to send a report containing both speed data and pictures of the speeding vehicle directly to the cops. This is hilarious. So I'm just driving around town, and I've got this new gimmick on my vehicle, and everybody that passes me is going to end up with a speeding ticket. That sounds like a hell of a lot of fun. I got you, and I got you, and I got you. Doesn't that sound like a riot?
It's kind of crazy to me. I'll tell you what, they'd have a tough time getting anything on me. I always try and go the speed limit. I'm not distracted by my phone. I always keep my knees at 7 and 2. I mean, I'm the safest guy on the road.
Sounds like it.
I want the people at Ford to know, if you want a prominent celebrity,
Jeez.
if you want a prominent, soon-to-be Hall of Fame celebrity to be the first to drive around a Ford with this speed detector thing, I am your guy. I want to be everybody's worst friggin' nightmare out on the road. They say here the gimmick would make law enforcement's job easier because they wouldn't need to engage in pursuits. Yeah, who needs to chase these some bitches down when all the information's going straight to the cops every 10 minutes? Here's the car. Here's the description of the car. They were going 90. Here's this guy was going 78. I'm busting everybody in town.
John Deere Jesus said it's the new Ford Narc-150.
I want to be that narc. I really do. They say self-driving vehicles could also be equipped with these speed-detecting gimmicks. Don't you kind of want to be that guy, Josh? Or are you afraid everyone will hate your guts because they know you're getting everyone busted?
I'm not going to get behind the wheel of a Ford.
Oh my gosh.
No! Oh,
Lord.
I was hoping more texts would come in on that.
maybe the joke has worn itself out.
The rivalries between pickups and stuff?
Yeah, maybe it's finally worn itself out.
Yeah, can't we all just get along in that regard?
Yeah, I just want to drive my Ford and my Polaris. Hang on now, hang on. Keep an eye on the text. I said Polaris. And there you go. We got to take a break.
I'm a little disappointed. Come on. Where's all the hatred for Ford coming
I don't know.
in?
Again, maybe people just, we got to do this and that, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Sports will be next on the program.
Brotherhood. You can now text the Half-Assed Morning Show at 651-989-9393. Start your text with the name of the person you're texting. Sports. On the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
The American, Kate Douglas in lane 4, trying to hold off Smith. It's coming down to the final couple of strokes, but Kate Douglas is going to win the Olympic gold for the U.S. And Douglas gets that first Olympic gold.
Settle down, for Christ's sake.
Those Olympic announcers, they're putting in their time, aren't they?
They get her done.
Putting
They
the
do.
effort in.
They dial in and they get her done. I have watched quite a bit of that swimming. And, man, some of those styles of swimming would just kill a guy my age.
Dude, yeah.
It would just kill a guy. What's the one where they keep popping up out of the water?
Butterfly.
Ba-boom.
The butterfly.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, where they got their arms going all the way around. I think that's the
that
butterfly.
one looks bad, but that one looks painful.
Yeah.
But that's not the one where their heads keep popping up out of the water. Ba-ba, they come up out of the water. What is that, the breaststroke?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yep.
It would just kill me.
Yep, the breaststroke.
And there's certain events where they go back and forth in that friggin' pool. I went and took a deuce. I came back. They were still doing the up and down.
Yeah, it's like 15 minutes of racing in the pool. It's like, Jesus.
I don't know how the hell these people do this. We got all kinds of Olympic information for you coming up here in about a half hour. Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder gonna be here. We'll dial into a fresh edition of Who Dis coming up at 8 o'clock in the morning. We got a big timer calling into the program. And through a series of yes or no questions, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder will try to figure out who dis. Who the hell is this on the telephone? Is basically what they have to figure out. I'm looking forward to that. Tonight at Target Field, the Twins and Chicago White Sox face off in the first of a 3-game series. You can see it on television now.
Yeah, I got an email yesterday saying, guess what? You can now watch it on our service.
It's a great feeling. So many of us were left out, boned, as Josh would say.
Yeah, we got boned, didn't we?
But at 7 o'clock tonight on Bally Sports North, I think this is the first time where they'll throw a Twins game up on the screen for you. The White Sox have lost, is it 16, 17 ball games in a row?
Yeah.
That's not good.
No.
That's not the way you should be going.
And maybe we can get to the bottom of this also when we talk to Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder, and maybe even our mystery guest from a fresh edition of Who Dis. Tom Cruise is going to go ahead and perform a, quote, epic stunt to close out the Summer Olympics. Does anyone, Josh, do you have any inside information on what that nutcase is going to do at the closing ceremonies of
I
the
heard he might be like rappelling down some crazy tall building or something.
What in the world?
Tom Cruise.
And then he's going to be like, Mission Impossible 17 is coming out.
17.
I think his goal is to someday die for our entertainment. He is such an entertainer. He wants to die on film for us.
But tell me this, and I've seen him shown on television in between nonstop coverage of what Snoop Dogg is doing. I have seen clips of Tom Cruise hanging out at the Olympics, right? When he smiles or laughs, he looks like a madman.
Yeah.
Am I right about that?
No, you're right. Yeah.
He looks like he is not.
He kind of has a look of someone who knows something very dangerous and is keeping it from the rest of us, but at the same time thinking, oh, you'll find out.
Oh, God.
You'll find out.
Yes.
Perfect.
Like an old mad scientist from a movie in the 60s. There's something behind that smile, man. It gives me the willies when I see the guy. But you know who met him one time and said he was the friendliest peckerhead in town?
Who's that?
My friggin' wife.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, when I see, like you said, when they show him at the Olympics, he's just getting mobbed by everyone and taking photos with them.
I've always heard he's a
super
nice guy, yeah.
Yeah, my friggin' wife met him. She thinks that makes her a big shot, and it doesn't.
Does she just bring it up out of nowhere? You know, that kind of reminds me of when I met Tom Cruise.
Yeah, she's always bugging me about Tom Cruise. All right, Josh.
Why can't you be more like Tom Cruise?
I've heard that before. More like Josh, more like Tom Cruise.
Sure.
Cubbies News is coming up here before you know it.
Did you know that Standard Heating opened its doors over 90 years ago? That's right. Tony Ferreira opened the doors in 1930, now ran by his granddaughter Claire Ferreira. Call Standard Heating and Air Conditioning today and experience the customer service and care that holds true today.
It is savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's State Fair specials. Deals on deals on deals that can save you thousands. Visit standardheating.com for all their State Fair deals. Standard Heating, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930.
We're all juggling life, a career, and trying to build a little bit of wealth. The Brown Ambition podcast with host Mandy and Tiffany the Budgetnista can help.
Let's talk about the financials behind locks. It can be quite pricey, but as your hair locks, it needs way less product. When I had my fro, it was way more costly as it relates to products because my fro was thirsty.
No, it's very expensive. Yeah.
Yes. I need the whole bottle. So
what, a dime-sized portion of what?
Girl, the laughter.
Brown Ambition.
Wherever you listen.
Half-assed morning show. 93X.
Just heard a big boom, and another vehicle went through the building, ran down, called 911, and made sure the person got out, and then it started on fire.
St. Paul police suspect an off-duty officer had been under the influence of alcohol when they allegedly crashed into a vacant building, starting a fire early yesterday morning. Oh, boy. Just after midnight, cops were called to the 700 block of East 3rd Street on a report a vehicle had crashed into an unoccupied building.
When we went down there, he was already out of the vehicle, and he said he was okay, and I told him he should just stay until the police or paramedics come just to, get him checked out. I don't know how he even survived it.
Upon arrival, officers noticed the vehicle caught fire. They attempted to use extinguishers to put it out, but it spread. The structural integrity of the building was in question, so they backed off and let the St. Paul Fire Department take over. Police say they identified the driver as an off-duty St. Paul officer. The Minnesota State Patrol is handling that investigation, which remains open. The St. Paul Fire Department said the driver declined ambulance transport, and no other injuries were reported.
If I was a cop, I'd be a drunk.
Well, you know what? With what they have to do and the lack of respect they often get, I could understand. Just don't get behind the wheel. A 22-year-old New York police recruit was arrested after he attacked a trooper and tried to grab his gun while attending a training academy last week. The recruit told troopers he wanted to drop out of the academy and leave. An officer assigned to the training facility was helping to arrange the recruit's resignation when the recruit suddenly lunged at the trooper and tried to grab his gun from its holster. The police said the 22-year-old recruit was being escorted to a water fountain when he lunged at the trooper and grabbed his handgun, but the trooper was able to pull the recruit's hand off the holstered weapon and take him to the ground. The recruit, however, tried to grab the firearm again. He was arrested on charges of assault and attempted robbery.
Balls.
Not too sure what set him off there.
Double balls.
The dopest lawyer in Texas has been busted. Police in Alamo Heights, Texas, arrested a so-called cannabis attorney named Daniel Mailer Saturday on multiple charges. They say they aren't releasing information about the arrest yet, adding it's an open investigation, but some reports suggest charges are related to a family violence assault.
Oh, no.
According to the State Bar of Texas, the 42-year-old has practiced law in the state since May 2013. His website brands him as, quote, the dopest attorney in town. Now, Mailer's own lawyer said he's not guilty of all the charges, and he maintains his innocence.
That's got to be a real bitch when you're a lawyer and you got to get a lawyer.
Yeah. A Texas man has pleaded guilty in federal court to jacking at an Inver Grove Heights strip club and then leading police on a chase which reached more than 100 miles per hour.
Wait a minute. He just upped and started tossing off over at our joint there. What do they call the joint again?
King of Diamonds?
Oh, no.
Why would you assume that?
Why would I assume what?
That he was masturbating.
Well, didn't you say jacking it or something?
No, I said
he
was
said jacking.
Jacking?
Yeah, he was carjacking.
Oh.
Yeah. Jeez, get your mind out of the gutter.
I'm the only one who totally blew that?
I thought it was pretty obvious. I'm talking about a guy outside of a strip club.
Now I hate myself.
He's carjacking. Jeez. 29-year-old Sean Kincaid carjacked a man outside of King of Diamonds, police say. The victim told police he'd been waiting to pick up his brother and his friends when a man, later identified as Kincaid, got inside and said he was taking the car.
God, that sucks.
He then brandished a revolver. The victim got out and ran while Kincaid sped off. While officers were speaking to the victim and eyewitnesses, other police saw the stolen vehicle. As they approached, Kincaid sped off, and he got onto the interstate, driving over 100 miles an hour. At one point during the pursuit, he drove on the wrong side of the road into oncoming lanes to avoid police spike strips.
That's how you kill somebody.
Ultimately, he hit the spikes, and the car came to a stop. Once out of jail, he told officers in an interview his truck broke down and he needed another ride. That's why he stole it. He has no criminal history in Minnesota, but has convictions in multiple other states.
I love that friggin' place, King of Diamonds.
It's been a long time. I think the last time I was there was with you.
Man, we had some great times over there.
That was a long time ago. I watched, regarding high-speed chases, I watched a show yesterday. Oh, I think it's just called High Speed Chase. It was recommended by a member of the Brotherhood. I was stressed out. That was so stressful watching some of these. Yeah, High Speed Chase is what it's called on Discovery.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised. I thought, I love watching those on like YouTube or something like that. But for whatever reason,
you were nervous.
Was it a lot of dash cam video?
It was a little of everything. They combined like dash cam video and bystander video.
Helicopter probably
yep,
too.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. I watched the first episode, and it was about some dude who, I think it was Ohio. He was in a big rig, and he took his wife hostage. And this lasted like three and something hours. And the guy was very unlikable, as you can imagine. It was weird. He was on the phone with dispatch almost the whole time.
You go through all that trouble to get a hostage, and you choose the wife?
That's what I thought, too.
Well, he was mad at her because he was suspicious she was cheating on him.
Oh!
And he didn't appreciate that. They eventually took out the truck with a .50 caliber rifle.
Oh, that must have been sweet.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, I guess spike strips really won't work.
They tried that. Yeah, it didn't work at all. So.
That'd be so awesome to be the cop that got to shoot that. Finally, I get to use this .50 cal.
A Roseville school janitor has been charged, apparently for jacking it outside of a beach in Roseville last week.
So he took a car.
No, he was masturbating, you dumb bastard. It was obvious. The criminal complaint states police responded to a report of a man in a minivan in the parking lot of Lake Josephine County Park looking at females and masturbating. The complaint says multiple children were in the area at the time. Gross. It also said he works as a janitor for a Roseville area school. Once he zips up, the 62-year-old jack-in janitor has a court date scheduled for next month. More than 2 months after an employee found a hidden camera pointed directly at a toilet in a chiropractor's office, this is in California, a lawsuit was filed by 17 patients, including children.
I am traumatized by the disgusting violation committed against many people and families, including my own. I often feel incredibly vulnerable searching rooms for any hidden cameras. I don't know how I'll ever be able to trust a practitioner again.
The lawsuit filed Tuesday against 40-year-old Nicholas Vanderheide said the joint chiropractic location. They allege that he secretly placed the camera to record patients, including children, in undress. The complaint states that Vandenheide had been behaving inappropriately since last year or even earlier, sexually harassing female employees and stalking other social media profiles.
That's pretty sick, bruh.
Yeah, this guy's a scumbag. A joint chiropractic employee stated the hidden camera was deliberately aimed to record people's hoo-has.
It was pointed directly at the toilet. They definitely were aiming to record people using the bathroom, people's private parts.
A spokesperson said they acted immediately after discovering the camera, conducted an internal investigation, and fully cooperated with law enforcement. Vanderheide, who was employed part-time, has been fired.
He lost his job over that, huh?
Oh, yeah, he's all done, as he should be.
You screwed up, dude.
2 people in England were taken to the hospital after a woman approached them with a mysterious bag, which caused them to feel unwell. Avon and Somerset police said they were called to reports of a woman approaching people about 8:30 a.m., leaving at least 2 people experiencing breathing difficulties and itchy eyes. 32-year-old Dakota Nichols said he was leaving work when he saw the scene. I saw people in hazmat suits, loads of ambulances, police cars. I've never seen anything like that before, the British man probably said in a silly accent. And the only other update from police, they said this week that a 73-year-old has been arrested over a noxious substance, and they weren't aware of any further reports of people feeling sick.
So did we find out what was in the bag?
They haven't said quite yet.
Got any guesses?
Farts? Maybe she probably bagged her farts.
A bag full of gas?
I mean, they eat weird food over there, maybe.
That's true.
Maybe there's some mash and banger toots. A Florida man was arrested earlier this month after he made repeated threats to a former employer and his wife after he was fired. 38-year-old Jeffrey Borrow was fired from his job July 1st. In the subsequent days, he made at least 18 threatening phone calls and sent threatening text messages and videos.
Not a big deal.
The threats were sent to the owner of the company. Prosecutors said he threatened to kill the owner and his wife if he didn't give him $10,000. Then he changed his mind to $20,000, and then he went up to $100,000. Should have thought that through the first time. F with me again and I'll kill you easily, he said in a video. I don't sue people, I kill people.
Oh my gosh.
And I get away with it every effing time. You're on my time now, he said.
Honey, get the bag full of farts.
In another video, he said, die, mother effer. At one point, he sent a message asking for $10,000 and included his Venmo username while saying, on Venmo or die. And be my bitch in hell forever.
Oh, my Lord.
The mouth on this guy.
I know. For some reason, he even threatened his neighbors. Now he's facing several charges and was deemed too dangerous to be let out of jail before his trial.
Do you think he's really gone around killing people and getting away with it?
Well, he said, I mean...
I don't sue, I kill people.
Yeah, that's all he does.
I do what I want. I have sex and I kill people. Whatever. I'm in a gang. Whatever.
A former Lee County, Florida sheriff's deputy faces several charges after authorities said his body camera recorded him stealing from motorists. Come on, man. Internal Affairs personnel began reviewing 120 hours of footage and discovered 9 victims throughout 7 encounters with 37-year-old Tyrese Jackson between January 2nd and January 22nd. Evidence shows Jackson removed money from motorists' wallets and purses during his shifts. He even carried out the acts while he trained other deputies. While the victims stood beside their parked vehicles, he'd returned to his cruiser, and his body camera repeatedly recorded him going through their wallets and taking their cash. Jackson met with his supervisors February 8th when they replayed the footage and asked him to explain what happened. He couldn't explain it. He's due in court at the end of the month.
If I was a cop, I'd be a thief.
No, you wouldn't. That guy's a douchebag. A new study is offering some insight as to what it takes to be a top 1% income earner in Minnesota, and I'm nowhere near it. Go Banking Rates looked at IRS data for the tax year 2021, the latest data available, and they adjusted its figures into 2024 dollars to compile a nationwide ranking. The results found that in Minnesota, a person would need to make $755,000 annually to rank in the top 1%. That's number 17 overall on the list. Residents of Connecticut took the top ranking at over $1 million. West Virginia ranked at the bottom, $435,000 puts you in the top 1% there. The term top 1% refers to the wealthiest residents in a population based on income or net worth. Annual wages for the top 1% in 2021 in the U.S. reached $819,000 on average. What are you doing where you earn that much money? The wealthiest 0.1% of people made over $3 million annually. Meanwhile, those in the bottom 90%, they earned an average income of $36,000.
That's why you got to marry into money.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
That's the dream, right?
Yeah, you marry into big, big, big dollars.
Generational wealth.
Yeah,
where nobody's worked for 3-4 generations.
Oh, gosh.
They're just living off the interest.
Wouldn't that be beautiful?
And hopefully your partner is in terrible health. Terrible health. I mean, just hanging by a thread.
They've got serious heart problems.
Yeah.
And they're forgetful. They forgot to have you sign a prenup. The whole thing. Yeah, that's the way to get set up. Good call, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
As for the surrounding states, Wisconsin's top 1% earned about $631,000, Iowa $591,000, South Dakota $752,000. Well, they're making a lot of money there. And to be among the top 1% earners in North Dakota, you'll need to make at least $708,000. $8,000. Yesterday, the Minnesota State Fair announced a slew of attractions which will debut this year, including new rides, an app, exhibitions, transportation options, and more.
Anything that grabbed you?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple that sounded kind of cool, like these rides, even though I can't do them anymore. I get all barfy. 2 new rides will be added to the mighty Midway this year, the Kraken, nice, and the Defender, also nice. The Kraken is described as an 80-foot tall tower which stretches its limbs up to 147 feet. The Defender is a fast-action propeller ride. The fair gets a new app for 2024, which will feature daily schedules, the ability to search and filter for different foods and vendors, and replaces the previous web-based filter tool. A new exhibition, which can be found at the North End Event Center, takes visitors on a sensory and interactive journey of understanding their beloved household pets.
Sweet.
It'll address how cats and dogs communicate, understand humans, and how they perceive the world. Maybe if you have some pet questions, by the way, we have a new segment we're going to try out today around 8:20 with our own veterinarian. We'll be coming in at that time to answer texts, just like we do with Dr. Pete, so keep that in mind. And new routes will be available this year to help guests more easily get to the fair. This year's fair runs between Thursday, August 22nd and Monday, September 2nd. 93X will be broadcasting daily, and the 5 of us will be out there around 10 a.m. on both Fridays.
4 of you will be there.
Oh, you're not going to be there?
4 of you.
No, you love the fair.
There's 4 of you that will be there.
There's a Spam sandwich in it for you.
Yeah, I think I'm going to skip it this year.
No, all right. Maybe next year.
What if we invite the girls of King of Diamonds out there?
This year?
This year, yeah. Both Fridays.
Out to the fair.
Yeah.
I'll consider it.
How many people are going to be there now on the show? Are we back up to 5? It's 4 and a strong maybe?
Ooh-wee, that would be fun.
Yeah, I think you'd probably like that.
Yeah, I would like that a lot. You got me this time.
Josh Hartnett stars in the new psychological thriller film Trap, which opens in theaters this week. Directed by M. Night Shyamalan, Trap follows a man...
Well, that ruined it.
He's got some good stuff. It follows a man named Cooper, the father of a teenage girl, Riley. Cooper is also, by the way, a serial killer known as the Butcher. One night, he takes Riley to see one of her favorite pop stars in concert. However, Cooper soon realizes the whole concert is a trap in order to catch and arrest him once and for all. 5 years ago on this day in 1999, M. Night Shyamalan's The Sixth Sense, starring Bruce Willis and Haley Joel Osment, premiered in Philadelphia. Made $26 million its opening weekend, but word of mouth led it to a box office total of $294 million.
I've been to a few concerts where it felt like it was a trap.
How'd I get suckered into this? Son of a bee.
How do I get out of here?
On the more family-friendly side of movie choices this weekend, Harold and the Purple Crayon, starring Zachary Levi, now in theaters. Inside of his book, adventurous Harold can be making anything come to life by drawing it. After he grows up and draws himself off the book's pages and into the physical world, Harold finds he has a lot to learn about real life. Today on Netflix, Rebel Moon Chapter 1, Chalice of Blood, and Rebel Moon Chapter 2, Curse of Forgiveness. Here are the R-rated director cuts of the PG-13 Rebel Moon Part 1 and Part 2. Also on Netflix today, the streaming premiere of Saving Bikini Bottom, the Sandy Cheeks movie. On Hulu, the streaming premiere of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Tomorrow on Netflix, the stand-up special Joe Rogan, Burn the Boats. Sunday on HBO, the second season of House of the Dragon comes to a close. Then on Paramount Plus Sunday, the third season finale of Mayor of Kingstown.
It's the House of the Dragon. It's the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Right.
I got to get those straightened out. Okay.
Vertically challenged Jesus and her bestie Becky are on a road trip to Nebraska. Hope you ladies have a blast. Shout out to Army Mechanic Jesus on his trip up to Ripley, his last annual training ever before he becomes retired Army Mechanic Jesus. Happy birthday.
Last trip ever. Last trip ever. Last trip ever.
Happy birthday to 34 plus 34 equals 68 plus Dana's mom equals 69. Eggplant emoji Jesus turning 34 today. Bank examining Jesus checked in, wants a shout out for his daughter Addison having some surgery this morning. Hope that goes well. Happy birthday shout out to the super hot and sexy nurse She Sus from P-Man. And that's 93X News.
Randy Shaver.
He's very hairy and has a great disposition. Like I said, he loves to hug and he loves to give kisses.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Long road from Tokyo to Paris, leading Biles to this moment and do what she does better than anyone ever has. That should do it. She knows it. There it is! Vulnerable in Tokyo and victorious here in Paris. Simone Biles wins the gold. That's what greatness looks like.
Here we are, and here they are. The fellers, Brad Ryder, the lonely boy. What's going on?
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, we're doing good, Brad. Thanks for asking. And the ass man, or maybe more fitting today, we should call him the tired ass man.
The dragon ass man.
Randy
I thought
Shaver.
for a second I was on the wrong radio station when I heard music when I tuned in. But apparently I'm on the right place. Okay.
Here's what happened, Randy Shaver. The commercial department forgot to give us commercials.
Yeah, we ended our last segment about when we usually do, and Wapple's like, "Oh, we have no commercials to play here." I'm like,
So I'll add a song. I'll get us there.
We rely on those extended commercial breaks, of course, to pay the bills around here. But we also, as part of the morning show, we rely on those long commercial breaks for us to, get a little time to go have a cigarette. We don't have that opportunity. We've had to fill some time with music. So, yeah, I imagine you were a little confused.
I was like, okay, I guess we're changing the format today.
It's usually never a good sign if the advertisers leave. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's what they keep telling us.
They haven't left, Brad Ryder.
Okay.
It's just the commercial people forgot to give us the commercials. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We can't play them until they give them to us.
Yeah,
if you ever hear a song on this show, it usually means I have stomach problems.
Yep.
But in this case, there's some kind of miscommunication with the commercial department and the talent department.
Ah, okay.
Randy Shaver, I bet you are, and I know being an ex-jock, you don't like to admit these kind of things, but I bet you are physically cooked today.
I am a little sore this morning, for sure. Not as bad as Dwight Lundeen, the Becker football coach who stole the show last night at Pints and Paddle in our Celebrity Pro event.
Mm-hmm.
Was he not amazing?
I went last night out to Pints and Paddles to see Randy Shaver and see night one of this pickleball extravaganza you got going all weekend. I went out to see Randy play because yesterday you were telling us you were pairing up with the best pickleball player in America, in the world or America?
In the country. Rob Nunnery. Yes.
And, yeah, I got to see you play and others, but Randy's wife, who was looking good last night, you know what I'm saying? Right, Josh?
Settle down.
She always looks good.
She said you got to get a look at this Becker football coach, who is how old?
He is 77.
77 years old. She said, you got to watch this guy play pickleball. His name again, I'm sorry.
Dwight Lundeen.
Dwight. And he was... there's no way you would ever guess the man is 77 years old.
By looks and athleticism, or...
Yeah, I would say both.
Yeah, both. He was absolutely terrific out there. And everyone was a good, except for Randy. Randy, you were not good last night.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, I mean, come on. I'm not trying to be a dick. I don't think you had a good night out there.
Let's put it that way.
All right.
The longer the night went, the worse I got. So
you were just getting tired, I imagine.
Yeah.
You were just getting tired.
Mm-hmm. Hey, if I can interject real quick, a question from your friendly neighborhood garbage man. You mentioned that the commercial department didn't share with the talent department the commercials, right? So we're letting commercials.
Right.
He just wants to know, he wants to tune in once this happens. When does the talent department show up? He's what time should he tune in?
Oh, man.
But when I saw you last night,
Tell
Randy,
him right now.
Here they are. Yes, they've arrived.
Brad Ryder and Randy Shaver.
They've arrived. When I saw you last night, I gave you a little pat on the back. You were quite soaked in sweat. That was a hell of a workout for you.
Yeah, it really was. But it was so much fun. We had way more people there to watch than we expected, which I think is a testament to Pints and Paddle and the stuff that they've been doing to promote this. And you guys have been gracious enough to talk about it on the radio. So we had a few people that listened to the radio that came out to watch. But what a great way to kick everything off, because we're excited about the weekend and having 950 some people come play in this event. So
it's crazy.
All around the country.
Yeah, from 20 different states, from Canada. You saw a little bit of what the pros could do last night. They took it easy on us. Let's be honest. I mean, I felt so bad for Rob, who was my guy. I know Perk had a great guy. Dwight's player was fantastic. I mean, but those folks kind of took it easy on us. When the pros actually play out there, and I'm not sure what day, what time they play, if you like pickleball, you got to come watch these guys play, because they are the best of the best, and they play hard.
There were some great rallies that I witnessed last night. Specifically with this Dwight Lundeen and his partner were taking on Marcus Sherrills from the Minnesota Vikings and another professional pickleball player. There were some great rallies like you see, like, for example, when you watch Olympic, what do they call it? Not ping pong, they call it
table tennis.
Table tennis.
Yeah.
They had great rallies that took forever. And I'll tell you one more thing on this Dwight Lundeen, this Becker football coach. So he's still the coach there?
Nick, he's starting his 55th season as head coach this fall. He's
77 years old.
He's the only head coach Becker has ever had, and he's number 2 in the state of Minnesota in wins. He's behind a guy from Verndale. His name is Mike Malin.
Verndale.
Yep, and Mike is starting his 50th coach.
Okay.
At Verndale.
There was a number in there somewhere.
It's just a guess.
Season.
Randy Shaver, are you chewing on your microphone?
No,
maybe
sorry.
just kind of play
clamps are.
Play with the wires or something. You're cutting in and out.
Sorry.
Okay. Yes, Brad Ryder.
I was going to say the local pickleball association who helped you must have really done a phenomenal job of getting the word out on this, because I know you have a long reach with your cancer research fund, but to get that kind of numbers and to get those kind of people from all over the country, they must have really done a phenomenal job for you guys.
They really did, and so did the city of Maple Grove. The city of Maple Grove partnered with Pints and Paddle to make a lot of this stuff work too. And so between the two of them and with us, and again, I say thank you to you guys, your help too.
Mm-hmm.
The word really got out there, and the turnout's been fantastic. So
I had to make one more note on this Jerry, for Christ's sake, give me the name again from Becker.
Dwight Lundeen.
Dwight Lundeen. There was a moment last night where, again, right from the get-go, you're thinking, this guy can't be 77. He's so mobile, and he's quite talented at pickleball. There was a situation where he fired one back into the net. He screwed up. And out of frustration, he violently kicked at the ball. Right? He was going to kick the ball across the room just out of frustration. And I thought to myself, just the kicking motion that he made right there would put most 77-year-olds in an ambulance.
Yeah.
In an ambulance.
Remember the first time you and I played together, you got very mad at yourself for hitting the net a few times.
Yeah, I did.
You were furious. You hated that net.
Well, it's just so dumb. Unforced errors, Josh. I hate unforced errors.
Well, that was many games into it, so, I mean, you can't get too mad at yourself.
I was starting to get a little tired.
Yeah.
I was starting to get a little tired. I had to go ahead and look up where Verndale is. That sounds like somewhere Brad Ryder might have gone to get laid when he was in high school.
No, that's more up north.
Is that up north?
Northern Minnesota, yeah.
I'm looking it up right now.
I want to say it's by Alexandria, a little north of there.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of Summers east of Wadena.
Mm-hmm.
You got Baxter to the east as well. Okay, you're kind of on your way up to Detroit Lakes. Verndale.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. So I hope sometimes that soreness kicks in the second day, Randy.
It's always the second day, it seems like.
Yeah, I hope not, because I'm actually playing in the event tomorrow morning. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, delayed onset muscle soreness. That gets me every single time.
Oh, man.
Are you playing with the same guy you did it at your last event?
I am not. No, I'm
Different partner?
playing. No, yeah, it's actually the the gentleman who he works for Culver's, who kind of helped put all this stuff together too. His name is Don Fong. He's a great guy. So
Donnie Fong?
Donnie Fong.
I'd like to know a guy named Don Fong. I really would.
So he's my playing partner.
How are you as a partner, Randy? You're very competitive. If your partner kind of sucks, do you get on him a little bit? Or?
No, I have no room to get on anybody. I mean, I try hard. I try hard, and I play a lot of singles, and I play singles because then I have nobody to blame but myself when things don't go right. Plus, it's a great workout. But doubles is a whole different game, especially when you're playing with guys like I did last night, against and with, who absolutely have the cat-like reflexes to get to so many different shots. And as you probably saw, Nick, it's a finesse game as much as it is a power game. You play doubles, right? It's a lot of this dinking and dunking that
at the net.
Yeah, at the net, which I have not done enough to really feel comfortable with. So
you have more of a power game, but there is a lot of finesse to the game. I noticed, and by the way, that question that Josh just asked you, hey, do you get on your partner? That was Josh sizing up whether or not he'll ever play pickleball with you.
Well, I don't want to shock anybody, but oftentimes I'm the anchor of a team, and I do worry about getting yelled at. And I just tell them ahead of time, I'm going to do my best.
See, normally when you say anchor of a team, I think, you're the best person. Normally the anchor is anchors the relay.
You meant he's dragging him down.
He's dragging him down. Yeah.
Around your ankle, sinking you to the bottom of the ocean.
I'm going to sink us.
I did notice last night a couple times. So Randy's playing with the best pickleball player in America. That's Randy's partner. There were a couple of plays that I saw, Randy, where he cut in front of you to make the shot.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a couple of times, Nick, you probably weren't there last night, early on, where, I never touched the ball.
Yeah.
And finally, I yelled during the rally, "Hey, I'm here!"
Yeah.
Which was funny, but Rob was like, "No, I'm gonna take care of this point."
He wasn't willing to rely on you a couple times.
Yeah, but he was fun. He was he's a great player. He's a better person. He's really a good guy.
And so I mentioned I talked to your old lady for a little bit, and she's so much fun to talk to. And I was there with my friggin' wife.
Uh-oh.
And also a gal by the name of Christy, who's one of the folks who runs things up at Pints and Paddles. And it just so happens I went to high school with Christy.
Yeah.
So the three of us are hanging around. And we went to talk to your wife. And again, so she's Roseanne, your wife, is just getting to know mine. And I think last night was the first night she had met Christy. So Roseanne turns to my friggin' wife and Christy and says, when Nick and Josh were young, I tried to set them up on dates.
Oh, I know.
And she did. That's
I
true.
know.
And I had to tell that friggin' story again where she tried to get us put in jail.
Yes, she did.
Which is one of my favorite stories ever. This was at Randy's golf event. Josh and I were, I think at the time I was maybe 33, and Josh, you were what, 29, 30?
Something like that.
And hanging out with Roseanne, and Josh and I are on a golf cart, and she points at a couple of girls on a golf cart in the distance. And she says, well, boys, to Josh and I, those two gals over there are also volunteering, and they're just driving around the golf cart today, meeting people. I think you'd like them. I think you should go meet these girls. And, of course, Josh and I were both single at the time, so we said, well, yeah, we'll go over and say. She's like, oh, but here we go. I know how to make a love connection. I know how to set people up. And we're like, okay, let's head up. So Josh and I cruise over there, and these girls were ninth graders.
Oh, no.
Insane.
And that was a tough spot because we didn't want to offend Mrs. Shaver, and say, hey, but eventually we did have to say, we're quite a bit older than those girls. I don't think that's going to work out.
We weren't even that kind about it. I remember we had a brief conversation, and I said, does Roseanne think we're in high school? Why does she? And so then we drove back over to Roseanne, and I said, are you trying to get a pimp locked up?
Did you ever talk to the girls, or did you just turn the golf cart around?
We talked.
We said hi.
Like Josh said.
She told the girls that we were coming over. So, yeah, we said hi.
All right.
Yeah,
they
like-
were probably like, what in the world?
Yeah, you guys start driving towards them and then just turn around.
Yeah,
Didn't you graduate with my dad?
In the end,
And before you drive away, the last thing you say to them, please do not tell your parents what just happened.
in the end, I did take the girl to prom. I did. All right. Coming up in 15 minutes, another edition of Who Dis? So we're headed in that direction. We're excited for another edition of Who Dis. But we should probably cover some things before we get there. And we'll explain what Who Dis is all about when we get to it. Yesterday, Team USA won 7 more medals. 4 of them were gold. You heard maybe in our intro, Simone Biles. She's the best it's ever went ahead with that gymnastics stuff. She's the best. She won the all-around gymnastics final. Our gal here from town, Suni Lee, took bronze.
And it took a great effort in the final event, the floor exercise, for her to do that. She was fabulous. So congratulations to her.
In swimming, Kate Douglas won a gold medal in the 200-meter breaststroke. Regan Smith.
Kate Douglas in lane 4, trying to hold off Smith. It's coming down to the final couple of strokes, but Kate Douglas is going to win the Olympic gold for the U.S. And Douglas gets that first Olympic gold.
You're right, Josh. These guys do cocaine before the friggin'.
Yeah. They're all hyped up.
They're screaming.
Those two guys are so good, though.
Is one of them named Rowdy?
Rowdy Gaines is the color commentator, the former Olympic swimmer. And then Dan Hicks, who does a lot of the golf for NBC, does the play-by-play. They're very good together.
Katie Ledecky got herself another medal. She's the best of all time. Team USA also won a gold medal in rowing. And their first ever gold medal in women's fencing.
Fabulous.
Katie Ledecky is not a supporter of peeing in the pool. We had this conversation earlier in the week. So I think, we've got another vote against peeing in the pool.
I'm looking at this pool, and I see how long the lanes are. How do you not pee in the pool?
Well, I definitely don't. I definitely don't.
So no one pees in the pool?
I can't speak for other people. I definitely cannot speak for other people.
Because I'm like, if you pee in my pool, you'll pee in my life.
Yeah.
And I can't have that.
Yeah. I try not to think about this.
Did she say if you pee in my pool, you'll pee on my life?
Pee in my life.
Yeah, pee in my life.
In my life? I don't know what that is.
I didn't get that.
All right, so we got another vote against. But I still think the votes for in-pool urination far outweigh the numbers against.
It seems that way.
I'm not sure anybody would publicly admit it, though, either.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like, she wouldn't. If she did it, that would be headlines all over the place.
No. Brad
a bunch
Ryder,
of other swimmers did.
Yeah, a couple days ago, a bunch of the other Team USA swimmers said, oh, yeah, we pee in the pool, we pee outside the pool, we pee in our trunks, hanging out in the locker.
Because they said how difficult it was to get in their outfits.
Yeah,
and
they're like a pack of dogs.
They're in there constantly.
A pack of dogs.
Those are guys, though.
Huh? What'd you say, Brad?
I said those are guys, though.
No, there were guys and girls.
Okay.
Hey, Brad.
Yeah.
Do some research.
Yeah, Brad, do your own research.
Do your own research.
Do better.
Oh, man.
It was, Brad Ryder. It was guys and gals from Team USA who said absolutely. They fill that pool with urine.
Oh, they don't fill
They
the
fill
pool
it up.
with urine.
It's half urine.
It is.
It's not half
quarters.
urine.
Yeah. They got good chlorine.
You're half urine.
You're not wrong.
You just see the people filling the pool saying, nope, only go that high because they're going to pee and fill it.
We can't go over this threshold.
Right.
We need more urine.
No, we can't start the competition unless we get a little more urine in here. These are professionals, for God's sake. They've got expectations. All right. Josh says he thinks Tom Cruise is going to, what do you call it again?
I don't think he's going to be satisfied until he dies on camera for our entertainment.
But he's going to, what do you call
Repel.
it? He's going to repel Tom Cruise is going to perform a massive stunt at the closing ceremonies. Is that something we have to worry about now? When are the closing ceremonies? We got another week of this,
I would
right?
say a week from Sunday, maybe.
Oh, well, then don't worry about it.
Is he coming down the Eiffel Tower?
He's going to jump off a... It says here he's jumping off of something called Steady Détruit. Yes, he's going to jump off that and rappel down onto the, how do you call it, the field, and he's going to be...
Why?
Because he's Tom Cruise, and like Wapple said earlier, he wants to promote the Risky Business Part 2.
Yeah, Mission Impossible.
Or whatever
17.
He's doing.
Risky Business Part 2. Will he be in his underwear?
They play the music and everything.
That would be really cool.
He should do a Risky Business Part 2 where now he's in his 60s and looking to get laid. You know what I mean?
Oh, my God. That would be hilarious.
And instead of tighty whities, he's in like boxer briefs.
Yes, exactly. That sounds like a...
tied to Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 2, right, Wapple?
Yep.
All right.
Sounds like a Saturday Night Live skit.
Yeah,
it does.
Perfect.
This isn't for another week, so sorry. I didn't need to. I thought it was happening this weekend, but they still got another week of this.
Yeah, track and field yet. They haven't even started that.
I think they should do Risky Business Part 2. This time, instead of his folks leaving town, it's his wife and kids.
That's a funny premise for a story.
And Rebecca how do you say her last name?
DeMornay.
Rebecca DeMornay.
She's 70 now. She comes back over to the house.
God, was she not just unbelievably beautiful? Yeah.
I have trouble talking about Rebecca DeMornay. Without getting a boner. Because she was
gorgeous.
You know why I get sympathetic boners. I get one.
Yeah, you guys thought peeing in the pool was a problem.
Yeah, really.
Wait till you deal with sympathetic hard-ons.
Oh my God!
All right, while we went in that we shifted over in that direction. The Olympic diver that we talked about a couple days ago, the feller with what appears to be a rolled-up Sunday newspaper in his trunks. He's been made an offer by a company looking to get their name out there. The dude, again, is named Jules Boyer. He's a French diver. I believe he's a French guy. He's been offered a lifetime supply of underwears from a underwears company called Shinesty. Does anyone know?
No.
Never heard of it.
No.
So, they're shooting their shot. They got their most clever marketing guy on this, and they rehearsed and released a statement. What happened? Did someone just get stabbed?
I have heard of these. We've talked about them before. They're the underwear with the ball hammock. They separate everything, and they got funny different designs on it.
Oh, I thought all kinds of underwears companies had ball hammocks now.
I thought so too.
Yeah, these guys started it, and you can have an elephant print, and then the trunk is where your wiener would be.
That's cute.
That's really hilarious. Listen to this statement that they made. This is so dumb. This is so dumb. The people from Shinesty said, when we saw what Olympic diver Jules Boyer was packing in his south of France, it didn't matter that we're an American company. We wanted to give it a gold medal and protect that front trunk for many Olympics to come. They should fire that marketing guy. Fire him.
That's actually pretty clever.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, what did I say? Lifetime supply of drawers. You could use a fresh set of drawers, Josh.
It's been a while. You're right.
Those sumbitches you got hanging off of you, they're filthy.
I've had them since high school.
Jeez, these underwear are very expensive.
Are they?
What are we talking?
$30 a pair.
Whoa.
Wow.
My genitalia is not worth that, I'll tell you.
A heads up to the Hawk Tua girl. The next big thing has arrived. Step aside, Hawk Tua girl. A lady flashed her cans at a TV camera during an Olympic tennis match yesterday. Now, not her naked cans. They were covered up by her bikini top. But she looked very pretty, and she looked like the type that might be receiving a lot of phone calls this morning about come on our podcast and, make an appearance on our podcast and do a porno movie for us.
With her husband and her kid right next to her.
I know.
That's legendary.
Come on, Mom.
And I like that they don't even flinch. Yeah, Mom's got her shirt off.
Well, they didn't see her. I don't think they saw it. Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder, did you see this video?
I don't think I did, no.
And like Ashley said, that's where everyone said, what the hell is going on here? She did the, good old-fashioned flash 'em gimmick with her kid, I don't know, maybe an 11-year-old son.
Yeah, somewhere around there, maybe 12.
And her husband directly to her left, and neither one of them noticed. So that's what a lot of people were saying. You hauled him out in front of your kid?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they weren't even looking. The camera, they were all looking at the camera. The kid and the dad. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying that she looks like an older Jennifer Aniston.
She does a lot, yeah.
Now you did it, Nick. Do you got your text thing open? Can you see what referee Rob Page just texted in?
Oh,
you screwed up.
No.
You forgot.
I forgot. He has one rule.
Yep.
Local legend, former wrestling referee Rob Page. He has one rule, and that rule is, he said, I'll tell you again, I will hear 0 hock to a girl slander.
He won't put up with it.
Rob, I forgot. I forgot. He doesn't like it when we say bad things about the hock to a girl. Tonight at Target Field, the Twins and Chicago White Sox face off, game 1 of a 3-game series. And we were all kind of, celebrating the fact that this is the first series that Bally Sports North has been able.
They're back.
They're back. Although I keep getting texts saying it's not all the way back. I don't know. I'm sorry to those who aren't still to this day.
Yeah.
I don't know the
Yeah, it kind of like depends on where you live, like location.
It's very complex.
Well, I got a notice that mine's back, so I'm excited.
I got an email too.
So did Cubby. And the White Sox have lost 17 ball games in a row.
They have, yeah.
And yesterday I said that means I guarantee victory for the White Sox tonight. They'll win tonight's game and then they'll lose the rest of the series.
I think I said the other day, 28 blown saves by their bullpen.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
The pitching matchup, Joe Ryan versus Davis Martin.
Who is that?
I don't know.
That's a new name for me.
Guy with 2 last names.
Yeah, and Joe Ryan has 2 first names.
Yep.
So something's got to give, right, Brad Ryder?
Right.
I don't think this is going to surprise anybody, but the word is Mike Trout.
It's unfortunate.
Won't be coming back this season. Is he done?
I don't think he's done. It's too bad. He hurt himself, and he's been rehabbing for like the last month and a half, and was getting super close to coming back, and then had a setback, and they just said, "All right, we're done." So
Mike Trout, yeah, he's been struggling for years with injuries. Years.
Yeah. That sucks for the Angels fan base.
Yeah,
you lose Ohtani, and they always had Mike Trout, and now they have just no one.
Yeah.
I remember folks used to go to the games with the inflatable Trout on their head, and they'd get real drunk. Yeah, so the word is, like Randy Shaver was saying, they were expecting him maybe to come back, and then he tore his knee again during a rehab assignment.
Yep.
His knees they're snapping like bamboo rods.
It's too bad.
Injuries have just squashed what was, at one point, he was widely regarded as hands down the best all-around player in all of big league baseball.
Easily, yeah.
Oh, wow. Did you guys say this yet? Eastbound at Sundown Jesus has informed me that Mike Trout has 6 more years on his contract.
Well, I'm sure he does. He signed a long-term deal.
Yeah.
Sounded like a 10-year deal 4 or 5 years ago for a lot of money.
I have a feeling he'll be back next year.
All right, then. So we're waiting on a telephone call now. Should be coming in the next couple of minutes. So we can get mysterious here.
Okay.
With a fresh edition of Who Dis? We got a well-known, big-time, famous somebody lined up to call us on the telephone. And the way we do this, in case you're new, through a series of yes or no questions, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder will try to figure out who the F it is that we got on the other end of the line. Okay. Who dis? And part of the fun, of course, is our listening audience can play along and see if they can figure it out. As far as I know, our special guest has been informed ahead of time to only give yes or no answers to the questions. So now we're just waiting for that line to ring, and Wampo can hit the theme song, and we can go ahead with it. I'm looking forward to it. I like this bit. I kind of look forward to the day where neither one of you can figure it out. Now, if you were listening earlier, did you guys get any tweets or text messages around 5:45 this morning, Randy or Brad?
No.
Okay, good. Because Josh got going with the mouth and pretty much narrowed it down to a...
Yeah, I blew it big time.
A little bit. We're glad you didn't hear it. Because Josh, just in natural conversation, boy, did he narrow it down.
Yeah, I did. We're very excited to talk to this person. We've heard for a very long time that we'd really enjoy having him on. So, yeah, I blew it.
But it was fun listening to you blow it. Guesses are coming in via the text machine already. Should we eliminate some people already, Josh, through bad guesses?
I think I have a guess, but I'm not going to say anything.
What are you talking about?
Go ahead.
Come on. You want to make a guess before
No, not before they get on, but I think I might have an idea.
I'd be a little surprised. I'd be more than surprised if you guessed.
I have to know. What leads you to believe that you have an idea? What's going through your mind?
Generally speaking, when we've done this, it's been centered around something that's going on.
Okay.
Yep, that would make sense.
So that is where my mind is going.
Radio programs like to play on current events. Yes, Brad.
Yep.
They do. So it's something that's going on.
Yes.
It could be. I mean, he did recently sign with the Falcons. Oh, no, I did.
All right. Here's a guess from Minnesota Moses. Is it Bruce Willis?
No.
No, but
that's not going to work out for sad reasons.
Don't be cruel.
Is it Peter Griffin? Is it? It's not Bruce Willis, but
is it Jesse?
You dick. It's not Bruce Willis, but we did get some information. Is he still married to Demi Moore, or did they break up?
No.
Did everyone read this?
No.
Wah wah wee wah, right? Demi Moore.
Very attractive, absolutely.
There was a time when the only thoughts that crossed the minds of men in America were thoughts of Demi Moore. Right, Josh?
For
I would say so.
Randy Shaver, Brad Ryder?
Yeah.
Sure.
Brad, did you ever think about Demi Moore?
Sure.
All right. I'm sorry to tell folks this. I think she's lost her damn mind. And it's a shame. Demi Moore has gone ahead and teamed up with a digestive health company called Wonder Belly. I'm growing one of those.
You've earned it, pal.
I am.
Well, nobody's wondering how you got it.
No, I'll smooth up. I'll tell you.
That's canned beer right there.
It's canned beer and potato chips. Demi Moore has gone ahead and teamed up with a digestive health company called Wonder Belly to promote a new book called An Adult's Guide to Farts.
An Adult's Guide to Farts. What's the big stink about? What are some of the common techniques to hide your farts? You can blame the dog, you can pretend nothing happened, or just run away and change your identity. Farts are nothing to be ashamed of. They're very normal. Cats fart, dogs fart, birds fart, even bugs fart. Of course, it's polite to excuse yourself when appropriate, but if a fart slips out, just own it.
And then she went for it right in the
Son
microphone.
of a bitch, she did not. That's audio of Demi Moore reading the book to her family, her daughters, who all have silly names. Go ahead.
So my granddaughter watches Baby Shark. Nick, I swear to God, listen to this.
All right, Baby Shark. I remember that bit.
Baby Shark, okay? And one of the episodes is about farting.
I didn't know that.
Now, for the first time when I was, my wife and I were babysitting her and Rocco, and we have the show was on, and she's playing. And
how's the Twins manager doing over there?
She's watching the program, but she's playing. But anyway, I'm like glued to the set. I'm like, what are they doing? What are they talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a whole episode on how it's okay that if you've got gas, to let it go. And then there's a whole episode on going to the bathroom. I was like, okay, this is so totally different than what I expected. So for her to do this for a book or whatever she's doing,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's pretty commonplace now.
And it's going to sell like crazy, probably.
She's trying to
will.
destigmatize it, she said.
Destigmatize it. Yeah, so, in the old days, those were private conversations you had with your parents.
You barely saw a toilet paper commercial.
Now you're learning it from television programs and things like that.
Yeah.
That was Demi Moore reading The Adult's Guide to Farts to her daughters, Rumor, Scout, and Tallulah Willis. And she goes on to say, I don't know, did she say this in the audio? There's no shame in a fart. It's totally normal and accepting. And it's a part of yourself. She also added in her caption, whatever that means, she went on to say she dedicates this book to all her hot girls with stomach issues, and she challenged Kelly Ripa. Good name for the topic. Kelly Ripa, Kate Hudson, and Chelsea Handler to do their own reading of the book. Are these notorious farters? Kate Hudson and.
Are they going to do a fart off or what?
They might light them. Oh God, they might. Well, everyone remembers the book. Everyone poops, right?
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a big hit. So I don't doubt that she'll sell piles of these friggin' books. Are we about to be stiffed by our?
I still haven't seen a call.
I think.
Oh no!
Yeah, I think we might be stood up.
Come on.
Maybe they're in the middle of something.
Come on.
Oh no!
We timed this out perfectly.
We did.
Mm-hmm.
We prepped it as best we could, and now the friggin' person isn't going to call. If this happens, I'm never, ever calling where this person is employed again.
I could see someone here screwing up and giving them the wrong number.
Please tell me someone didn't screw up and give them the wrong number, Wapple.
I have no idea on that end.
Uh-oh.
I'll tell you this much. The guy who was in charge of lining this up, he's in Colorado.
Oh, no.
And
his name begins
with a D and ends with an A.
Danel.
Danel.
If this somehow, if we get stiff.
Wake up Danel in Colorado.
What time is it in Colorado? 6 o'clock in the morning?
7, maybe.
Yeah, it's an hour behind.
You got a phone line open, Wapple?
Oh, you want me to call him on air?
I don't know.
That would be kind of funny. What the hell, bro?
If this is Danel's fault, dude.
Just stay in Colorado.
We're talking either stay in Colorado or we're doing 2 months on that friggin' bridge. As I love this bit. I really do.
Oh, no.
The ironic part is if I'm right on my guess, which I don't think I am, but I do have a guess. I actually have this person's number.
You have a guess in mind, and if it's them, you have their phone number.
Yeah.
Then I don't think Brad is. I don't think
you're. Yeah,
I don't think you have it.
Okay. Then
this might
wrong.
not even happen if the person is just not going to call because of one
If you
reason
don't
or
think I have their number, then I'm not right.
Well, then give us your guess.
Well, my guess was going to be Terry Ryan because he's inducted into the Twins Hall of Fame this weekend.
It is. It was supposed to be Terry Ryan. You're right. No. We're kidding.
Okay.
It wasn't going to be Terry Ryan.
Let's call him.
Terry Ryan would be awesome.
Yeah, that's why I thought maybe you'd have him. He would have been awesome.
Terry Ryan.
That's a good idea. That was a good idea.
Well, that's too bad because I think this would have been a great interview.
Yeah.
Right. At one point or another, we're just going to give up and we'll play some more of those songs that people aren't used to hearing on this
should I call Terry Ryan anyway and see if he wants to come?
We've got.
Here we go.
We've got, I don't know, 7 minutes to fill. Brad, call Terry Ryan.
Brad, and then act like you don't know who it is, and we'll play Who Dis with him.
Play it the other way. He'll have to guess where he is. He'll have to guess who he's just talking to.
Was it going to be Triumph? These are guesses from our listening audience. Was it going to be Triumph the Insult Comet Dog? No. Was it going to be Brad's mom? No. Was it going to be, what's his name again? I had it and I lost it because the texts are going by fast now. Was it going to be Cactus Jack?
Bang, bang.
No, we just talked to him a couple weeks ago. Was it going to be Burt Reynolds? No, the man's dead.
Oh.
The man is
that
dead.
Cool. Not Kyle Rudolph.
Seriously,
Not
though.
the red panda. Not Ross.
We're going to give up on this. And I'm serious. Depending on whose fault this is, I'm never acknowledging their existence again.
I think you're going to have to.
If it's the company that this man works for, I'm never acknowledging them again. If it's Danel, he's out. You say it, Ashley. You call him by his new nickname.
Danel.
There you go. Feels good.
It does.
Well, then, you know what? We did everything on our end to try to put together a fresh edition of Who Dis. Something went sideways, and honestly, if this, you know how I don't care on Fridays, Josh?
Yeah, you do have no F's to give on Friday.
If this was a Monday, I'd be having a heart attack. Thankfully, it's a Friday, and I've got that don't care vibe. Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder.
This is why I love the Vikings, because when things go wrong, it's much more entertaining. You know, it's just better.
You're comparing us to the Vikings in what way?
This has been very entertaining.
You're saying when things
People get all
fail.
bent out of shape when the Vikings lose.
Oh, I see. When things go wrong with the Vikings, people are irrational and ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the same goes for this radio show.
Well,
have I come off irrational and ridiculous?
Yeah, a little bit,
You seem more upset than I would have expected. But it's funny because let's say we have a week where nothing goes wrong. People will text in and say, hey, I don't get it. Everything went okay. Like, what show am I listening to?
You know, it gives us, you know what, in the end, it's going to be a good thing because it's going to give us more time for what we got coming up next. Randy Shaver, again, nice job last night. Good luck with all the pickleball stuff.
Good luck.
Thank you, guys.
And Brad Ryder, thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll talk to you next week, too.
Yep, sounds good.
Have a wonderful weekend, boys.
Did you know that Standard Heating opened its doors over 90 years ago? That's right. Tony Ferreira opened the doors in 1930, now ran by his granddaughter Claire Ferreira. Call Standard Heating and Air Conditioning today and experience the customer service and care that holds true today.
It is savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's State Fair specials. Deals on deals on deals that can save you thousands. Visit standardheating.com for all their State Fair deals. Standard Heating, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930.
Named one of the best personal finance podcasts, The Stacking Benjamin Show with Joe and his friends makes financial literacy fun.
We see money inefficiency OG around us all the time. We've got a few skeletons sitting out in the open, and maybe we need to broom them into the closet, if you know what I mean.
Nope, take that out.
What is...
Whatever you were going for didn't land right. Who's got a shovel and some lime?
Maybe you need to do that with your financial picture. I don't know.
Find out more by searching the Stacking Benjamins podcast, wherever you listen.
Right now on the Luther Bloomington Kia text line, text CAGE, C-A-G-E, CAGE to 651-989-9393 for a chance to win premium seats to Cage the Elephant. Cage the Elephant takes place Monday, August 12th at Target Center. These tickets are furnished by Live Nation. This keyword is good today, August 2nd until midnight.
Half-assed morning show 93X.
All right, yeah. Welcome back to the frequently malfunctioning 93X half-assed morning show. Like I was saying earlier, we're excited to meet a new friend here on the show. We don't get an opportunity like this very often, do we, Josh?
No, not at all.
A lot of folks stay away.
They do.
We'll try our best. Now, just like our Dr. P segment, when Dr. James Parnell swings on by and tries to help folks out with their health problems, we thought, why not do the same for our beloved pets? So we welcome to the show for the very first time from Gurman Animal Hospital, Dr. Andrea. Hello, Dr. Andrea.
Good morning. How are you?
How wonderful that you have joined us.
Thank you. I'm
Yeah.
happy to be here.
What do you think of our fancy radio studio?
I'm quite impressed. It's pretty glamorous in here.
Have you been in a radio studio before?
Never before.
Yeah, I feel like working here almost 30 years, we haven't been in a radio studio either. For what you see, we're broadcasting from.
Yeah, it's pretty bland in here.
Yeah.
She's honest. But however, right there in front of you, a big bag of Cheetos right here. Do you see this?
Oh, yeah.
Big bag of Cheetos.
Donuts right there.
Like I was saying, we would like to do something similar to what we do with Dr. P. Folks can text in questions, concerns about their pets, and already texts are pouring in. I knew it. I did, because our listeners have shown before, haven't they, Josh, that they really do love their animals.
Oh, yeah. People love their pets.
So the texts are pouring in, and we're going to look to you, Dr. Andrea, for some advice, try to steer folks in the right direction. How long have you been a veterinarian? Tell us your backstory a little bit.
Yeah, I grew up in the Twin Cities suburbs and went to undergrad at Miami of Ohio and went to grad school or vet school at the University of Minnesota. So
Is that something you've always wanted to do?
Actually, I went to medical school for a week and decided people weren't my thing. So I went back and decided to go to vet school.
Man, people still aren't my thing either, really. They aren't.
Yeah,
I'm going to argue that they're not your thing at all, actually.
No, not many of them. So you started off briefly, thought about working on people, then you decided pets.
Yep.
And here you are.
Yep. I spent a year working at the U of M emergency and decided I needed my sleep and then went and worked in small animal practice.
You know what? There's some of your clients that have texted in and they've got a lot of great things to say about you.
Oh, great.
That's nice to hear a balance from what we've been hearing before you got here. So it's good to see some of the good things coming in.
And you know what? We met with Dr. Andrea yesterday and chatted a little bit. And one of the things she told us is she went to Hopkins High School. So it's official. Someone that went to Hopkins finally made something out of themselves.
Thank you.
Someone. It finally happened. Well, that's great. Texts have been coming in. I got a couple set aside right away. And, what would you say your specialty is? Dogs, cats? What should folks maybe stay away from? I mean, it's totally understandable if there's certain things that you know.
Yeah, well, I don't do many reptiles, don't do many exotics.
Okay.
I have a pack of chickens at home. I don't know if that's
call
them a pack, but I have about 15 chickens at home, so I dabble in that.
Okay.
But mainly dogs and cats.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you are going through school, though, do you have to work on a little bit of everything?
You do. You do. Your third year, you actually decide if you're going to be large animal, small animal, exotic, zoo, mixed animal. Yeah, there's a whole list of things you could choose from.
What would you mentioned dogs and cats, but what's the most exotic animal you've ever treated?
Oh, gosh.
Or maybe zoo animal, something like that.
No, good question. I have a client who rehabs foxes. So I have spayed a fox, which is kind of cool.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. Same anatomy as a dog. It's really neat.
I had one of those.
Pretty tame fox.
One of those would hang around our fish house every winter years ago. And we'd throw him minnows. And then he got run over.
That's too bad.
It's terrible. I didn't run him over.
Say that to an animal lover.
He didn't.
It's so devastating.
Didn't feel a thing. He was a car went driving by on the ice, and he had a belly full of minnows. He went out happy. What do you guys want from me? Here we go. I have a text message here for Dr. Andrea. Tell me what you make of this one. My cat has been losing weight, very thirsty. Saw a veterinarian. And the theme, I think, the idea is a hyperthyroid issue. So this listener says, other than giving it kitten food, what can I do?
Yeah, so first and foremost, the first thing that comes to mind is hyperthyroidism. Very common disease in cats, so their metabolism is through the roof. So they're super hungry, but they're losing weight. They tend to be more vocal, and they look a little rough. They start to lose hair. So I would definitely have a thyroid checked. I check kidney values too. With that water intake, that's a big thing to look into. Some basic lab work just to make sure. Kidney disease, thyroid disease, heart disease, probably the three most common things we see in cats. So
those cats are interesting characters.
Yeah, I don't know about kitten food though. I'd probably, if it's an older cat, I'd probably consider something a little bit lower in protein, especially if we have concerns with kidney disease.
Okay. How come sometimes when I'm petting my cat, he looks like he's having the time of his life, and then 1 second later, he tries to kill me?
Yep. Super common.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just get overstimulated.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of come back at you.
And I said, what gives, bro?
It's
you know what I mean?
We were cool a second ago.
1 second ago, we were tight.
It's like ADHD for cats.
Yeah. He turns around and he kind of looks at me like, I'll kill you, you bastard.
Yeah, the cats, they have a mind of their own, and you never know what they're going to do next.
There's people like that too, though, right?
Sure.
Where you just,
that's true.
You're having a good time, but just the slightest thing might set them off, and this can turn ugly real quick. Skateboard Pete Jesus wants to know why his 10-month-old putt mix, I wonder if they meant like pit mix?
Maybe pug?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
The T is kind of close to the G on the keyboard here. Maybe he meant to say
it. Could be, yeah. Keeps shaking her head and whining.
Ooh, I'd be worried about her ears. I'd have the ears checked out. Ear infections are super common this time of year with the high humid temps.
Mm-hmm.
I'd also worry about some neck pain. Sometimes if they shake their head and they have some neck pain, they can be uncomfortable. Yeah.
What is what breed of dog brings about those ear issues with the fungus and whatever?
Oh, the yeast infections.
God, I had some of it can be really bad.
Yeah, really bad.
I'm guessing it's the dogs with the floppiest, longest.
Yeah, basset hounds.
Yeah.
I saw the cutest basset hound yesterday at 8 weeks. But they always get ear infections. Cocker spaniels, they're susceptible. A lot of doodles get ear infections.
And there's a lot of those these days.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
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 If you don't mind, I was
Doodle mania, Josh. They're calling it.
Oh, is that right? Oh, I've seen all the women screaming on black and white televisions. So, is there? Hopefully, this is okay. That I can sneak a question in here because it's related. We've had Great Danes for a long time now.
Yeah.
They got the big floppy ears, and they shake their head, and it's loud. Like when their ears are slapping their face. They shake their heads all the time. Each one we've had has done that. I just assumed it was part of what they do. I mean, does that mean there might be some ear stuff going on?
Well, a lot of dogs, when they wake up in the morning, they tend to do that, where they flap their head really aggressively.
Yeah, that's
with those
about right.
floppy ears. You would smell it. A lot of times you'll see it because there'll be some inflammation if you lift up the ear, and then you'll see some of that like dark, moist debris.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Okay, so I would know.
Yes.
Oh, I had
You would know.
My dachshund would get terrible. The smell, everything. You can't miss it, Cubby.
Is that
the
right?
Smell.
You can't miss
Oh,
it.
it's that bad?
It's so bad.
Now, I will say occasionally I'll stumble across it in a routine exam, and it may be kind of the initial part of it. Some dogs have chronic ear issues that are really hard to get ahead of.
And you can treat it with drops sometimes.
Drops. Sometimes you have to culture the ears to make sure you're treating with the right medication.
Mhm.
It just depends. Sometimes you have to use cleaner, especially in the summer months if they're swimming in the cabin or the lake.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This person says, my dog's paws smell like Fritos. So do our dogs.
Puppy paws.
And he licks them often. What's going on?
Dude, that is so weird. I've got a new dog. What is that thing? A Yorkie. She smells like a corn chip.
Yeah, our dogs, their paws do as well.
No, this is the first dog I've ever had that smelled like a corn chip.
Oh, really? You've
Yeah.
had broken dogs.
No, I mean, that's a pretty common odor coming from their paw pads. It worries me, though, with the licking. We see a ton of allergies this time of year, and if they're licking their paw pads, a lot of times they can introduce moisture, which creates a yeast infection, once again, in the paws. And sometimes that smell can be from that as well.
It's not a bad smell. I love Fritos.
Maybe there's something wrong with my olfactory system. I never noticed.
Sometimes that's a good thing, especially in the field of veterinary medicine.
I'll bet. This is a medical IT. She says, I've got a Shih Tzu who needs an exorcism. Does she provide those? He attacks everyone. Attacks when anyone leaves.
Oof. Yeah, those are tough. Behavioral issues are at an utmost high right now, especially after COVID. We're seeing a ton of dogs with anxiety and some aggression too, but
Why is it? Is it from people going back to work or
so a lot of anxiety with people leaving the house. They've never been left alone. And then also they just weren't socialized like an average dog. So dog parks, doggy daycare, neighbors, because people were hiding out in their houses with their dogs. So we're unfortunately seeing a lot of anxiety and some aggression too.
What's your thought on dog parks?
I think there's some good ones. I do. I think you have to have the right animal for it, the right pet who is socialized. I'm all about socialization. So I'm a fan of them if you feel like your dog is a good personality to be there.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is a really interesting text. We've got Dr. Andrea on the line or on the air right now from German Animal Hospital, taking your questions on any concerns about your pets. This is an interesting one from Jesus of Suburbia. You know the Jesus and Sheezes gimmick we have here. Okay, just want to make sure you're not wondering what the hell's going on. They have to put down their 19-year-old cat tomorrow.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm sorry.
19 years, that's a poke. Now, there's another cat in the house, a 7-year-old. And Jesus of Suburbia wants to know what he should expect might change with the 7-year-old cat who has known the other one his entire life. Anything I should watch for? It's always kind of an interesting dynamic there. Should he be expecting anything from the other cat?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we'll see them actually get depressed. There's a couple of cases I've had to put on Prozac, believe it or not, because they're depressed that their housemate has passed.
Really? I didn't know that. They could do that.
Yeah, and then sometimes they'll be off food for a while. They might hide more. You could see the alternative, though, where they actually thrive in the environment because they are now a one-house, one animal in the house. And
just a
they
brief
love the
amount
attention.
of mourning, brief amount, and then they're a rock star, and they're going to soak it up. Yeah.
It depends on the pet, and it depends on their relationship, too.
I'm going through that with my wife out of town this weekend. Little of the same. So a little depression. I'm starting to feel a little more the alpha around the house for once. But my dogs put me in my place yesterday.
For the next 50 some hours, you are finally the friggin' boss.
Yeah.
And you don't know what to do with yourself.
Candy Sheezus says, can the vet recommend a good flea and tick preventative for a 12-year-old Boston Terrier who's sensitive and has seizures?
Yeah, so any of those oral preventatives that we are using that, I don't want to, bash the product, NexGard, NexGard, Simparica Trio, any of those orals, unfortunately, dogs that have a history of seizures, there is a warning that they cannot actually be on those oral preventatives. So that's when we recommend the topicals, Frontline, Revolution. There's a plethora of them out there. So I'd stick with the topicals and avoid the orals.
I hear you. We don't know you well enough to say anything cute right there.
Yeah, we've restrained ourselves.
Yeah. I want credit for that.
Hot Cocoa Sheezus says...
I want credit for that.
Oh,
Good job, Nick.
Yeah, I'd like a little credit. Hot Cocoa Sheezus says, wants to know your take on cutting testicles off.
No.
Will that, quote, stop my Muppet from banging every moving doll with hair and then throwing up violently afterwards?
Oh, my gosh. He throws up.
Oh, boy.
What's funny, before you get there, Dr. Andrea, is yesterday when we met, you said, Andrea said, so we'll kind of play it out the way you guys do with Dr. P. Jesus. And we said, yes. And she said, so there's going to be a lot of genitalia questions. And we said, absolutely.
Yeah, you'll get those.
So one more time with this, they have a dog that does what?
If you neuter the dog, is that going to stop the dog from humping everything?
Oh, God.
Not necessarily.
Oh,
so
no.
a big component of it is hormones, right? So once you neuter them, it takes a while for that testosterone to drop. But a lot of dogs mount, just like female dogs do it too. And a lot of times it's behavioral, and it's not hormonal.
Oh.
So a lot of times you might see it improve, but it could still happen.
There are dogs out there who are just career mounters.
Yeah, my 10-year-old lab did it after he was neutered.
Yeah.
For years.
What did he like to attack in the house? Anything? Was there an ottoman or anything that bore the brunt
Pillows,
of the...
couches, and anybody that walked by.
Oh, people.
Is it a sexual thing or a domination?
It's a domination. It's a behavioral thing.
Oh,
okay.
Typically it is.
Just he wants to show everyone in the house, look, I can get her done.
Yes.
If I had to, I could get her done.
Wapple, after the show today, show our program director who's boss.
All
Now
right.
You know how to do it.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, real quick, going back to the listener who said they got a 19-year-old cat that's about ready to go. They also have a 7-year-old. After the 19-year-old cat is gone, can I expect anything different from the 7-year-old? Here's something that my friggin' wife did. At one point, we had 3 cats in the house. One of them just upped and dropped dead. And my wife thought it was a good idea for the other cats to see that cat, show them. And I thought it was kind of interesting. Is there anything beneficial to here you go, live cat, here's your dead friend, and then so now we can move on kind of a thing?
Yeah, I mean, they know what's going down. They know what's happening.
They do.
Know it before we do, honestly. So they have that natural instinct. So a lot of times they'll be stressed because their housemate is sick. I'll have clients bring the other pet to euthanasias to see the animal after it's passed.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's effective for them to see that, but to each their own, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but they know what's going on before the animal passes, typically.
They do.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that until the situation I just described. The behavior of one of those 3 cats before the other one died, the behavior totally changed in a month leading up to it. There was, I never would have believed that.
Depression almost in
No, he was extra aggressive.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
It was I don't know. Dr. Andrea says so, then I'm going with it.
It's they sense the weakness.
Yeah, absolutely.
The hierarchy changed.
Knew it was coming. The hierarchy was about to change, and they friggin' knew it. I'm telling you, Wapple, this isn't just the pot speaking.
Animal
This
kingdom,
is-
it's crazy.
This isn't just the marijuana speaking.
I'm not fat. I'm aerodynamic. Jesus has asked a question like we're actually getting a lot of these. Dogs who eat poop.
Oh, no.
Oh,
What's going on there?
I'd be a billionaire if I had product for that. I mean, honestly, it's tasty to them, especially in the winter months when it freezes. It's like eating a second meal. I mean, I have gotten that question for years. My own dog has done it, and just pick up the poop in the yard.
So
do
the
those
dog is
tablets
thinking.
work?
What's that?
Because I got some tablets that are you're supposed to feed your dog so that the other dogs don't eat their feces. Do those actually work? Have you ever tried those?
I have not found an effective product. I have heard feeding bananas makes the poop taste bad. I have heard giving pineapple. I have found nothing that is effective with poop eating.
Darn.
So there's no real reason for it other than they just might like it.
Yeah. It's like a second meal.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrible. But we've all known dogs who do it. I knew one who would just, and this dog lived with 3 other dogs, the poop eater dog would just be so excited when he saw the others squat.
Yeah, unfortunately, we had a dog that would do that.
Because that dog knew, I'm going to get myself something good.
Yeah, we'd have to take them out at separate times because we had a shepherd, and it was basically farm to table. Where as soon as the first dog went, she's like,
It's tough. It's tough. You got to deal with some tough stuff as a veterinarian.
Yeah, there's some weird
Some gross
scenarios.
stuff. Weird.
Yeah.
I have a dog and he eats cat poop.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
like a delicacy.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, my dog ate years ago. What is it they like about cat poop?
I don't know if they can taste the food actually that they ate and it just tastes different. I am not
What can
sure.
you do?
Yeah.
They're friggin' animals.
I wish I had a product. I probably
You
wouldn't
would-
be here right now.
No, you would be living high on the hill on a mansion.
You'd be on a higher rated morning show right now. Is there any concern?
No, I mean the biggest concern is infecting with parasites, right? So,
Or if the pet owner starts doing it,
yeah.
then there's
Definitely.
a concern. Yeah.
Yeah.
Parasites?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
All right, Dr. Andrea mentioned earlier she is a chicken owner. 25, 30 of them, you said?
15.
15. Here is a chicken question. Where did I? Here it is, right in front of me. My chicken is brooding. How can I get her to break the habit of laying on the unhatchable eggs all day?
I feel so sad for them when they do that.
I don't really know what is he saying exactly there.
So they're trying to lay the egg, right?
Trying
so
to
they're just
lay.
sitting on it, but it's not fertilized, so you can't have it. Chick,
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So honestly, the biggest thing is taking the egg away or stealing the egg.
You take the egg out of there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they get super stressed. So if you try and kind of remove them from that nest that they're sitting on, even removing some of that nesting material for the short term, because they tend to have a favorite nesting bed, then hopefully that will kind of break that habit as well.
Yeah, my sister has 7 chickens, so I've been kind of watching them, and one of the chickens does that, and it just, like you said, sits on the egg all day, and it's sad because it's
So
like
sad.
the mom wants it to be a chick, a little tiny baby chick.
Oh, that is sad. Poor chick.
I have also heard like sticking them in a dog kennel in the coop area so they don't have access to the bed.
All right, I think it's time to take a break. Usually we go a few more minutes, but this is Dr. Andrea's first trip. Let's give her a chance to catch her breath. There's a lot of texts coming in, 651-989-9393. If you have any questions about your pet, we'll try to handle them before we get out of here.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what, we got to thank our listeners for their text messages. They've just been absolutely bombing our text machine to get a question or a comment in for our guest this morning, Dr. Andrea from Gurman Animal Hospital. Thanks again for coming in, Dr. Andrea.
Having me.
And you're doing your thing, trying to help our listeners out with their questions about their pets. Now, got a couple of these messages that have come in. I mean, you're a vet, you own chickens, and this is a reference back to a story we had in our Stupid News segment earlier. A listener says, if she doesn't tell us which came first, the chicken or the egg, I'm going to stab someone. We had a story earlier where a drunk guy in, was it India, Josh?
Indonesia.
Indonesia?
I think you said India, but it was Indonesia.
Two drunks are at a bar, and they actually, grown men, got in an argument over which came first, the chicken or the egg, and one of them stabbed the other to death. So, with your veterinary experience and your experience as a chicken owner, by damn, we need an answer. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? There's lives on the line. Lives on the line.
Oh, boy, man. I'm sorry, but I would probably, if I could take a guess, I'd say the egg.
Fair enough.
I'm a layman here. I'm just a citizen. I'm not a vet. I'm a citizen. That seems to be the most, that makes the most sense to me.
Yeah. Got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
All right, we settled that.
All right, so we talked earlier about poop eating, and we're moving on to eating something else. And this person's concerned, wants to know, why does my German Shepherd love to eat bumblebees, and should they stop them?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I mean, I watched my dog on the couch the other night try and eat a fly. First of all, I think they like to chase them and try and snap at them.
Yeah.
I don't think they realize that the bee's going to fight back. So I think they look at it as like a little game.
Like a toy.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest issue is some dogs have allergic reactions to insects, and they'll come in with swollen faces and look like they can't see because their face is so swollen.
Oh, my God.
That's the biggest risk of eating insects.
I bonded really well with one of my dogs that I'm very fond of already. Because I just found out he's a bug eater, and I don't like bugs. So yesterday he got 2 of them.
It's amazing.
That's my special boy right there. Yeah, he's pretty good.
Quite a few people have texted in about hot spots.
Oh, man.
When your dog gets a hot spot and will not leave it alone.
Yeah.
And do cats get the same thing?
You know, typically we'll see hot spots in dogs. Cats will get something similar, but mainly hot spots are from their hair coat underneath never drying after swimming in the lake.
Oh, okay.
Going to the cabin. And a lot of times we'll see it. It can be a manifestation of allergies, too, this time of year. I see them all the time. And they're pretty nasty looking.
Yeah.
Honestly, making sure you're getting your dog pretty dry after swimming and maybe even using a medicated shampoo after swimming, that'll help. But some dogs need to be on chronic medications for it, especially over the summer months.
We've all had dogs who had that problem, right?
Yeah.
Oh, my damn, it would get bad. It was just...
it
thinking back, it was a Springer that was always jumping in and out of the river, in and out of the lake, and she would just torture herself trying to... on the topic of cats' hot spots, one listener did text in and say he has a cat that licks away all of its fur, specifically on its privates. Is that a hot spot? Is that and I'm not trying to be cute with that, is that what the hell could be going on there? The cat will specifically attack just that area and lick all the hair away.
No, I'm sorry.
Yes.
And I could figure it out maybe by context clues, but I'm not sure what a hot spot is. I haven't heard that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
good
Cubby.
question. It is a skin infection that's really red, ulcerated, and very moist, and it stinks. So a lot of times they'll get it from hair just being wet and sitting under the fur. So a lot of times you'll shave the hair and it will be expansive, bigger than you think it is. And usually we'll see it around the ears, the neck, but it can present anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, Josh.
Oh, no. I felt
The
stupid.
medical term is moist dermatitis.
Moist
Okay, see,
dermatitis.
that's how I know it.
When I said hot spot, you were thinking about that place I lived in Wayzata for a while.
Oh, man.
That was the hot spot,
That was
wasn't
something
it?
else.
You could come 2, 3 in the morning, you could come over and there'd be something going on.
I was jealous.
That was the spot.
I wanted to list my house and move there. Lesbian medical laboratory scientist Jesus says they have a 5-year-old female English bulldog, Stella, started peeing in the house after a 12-year-old male boxer passed. Was fully potty trained prior. What gives?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be concerned with behavioral. And if they're urinating in the same spot, typically it can be behavioral, but you have to rule out everything else. It's an older dog, so you gotta make sure it doesn't have a UTI, make sure there's no bladder stones or anything going on in the bladder. So I'd recommend getting some labs first before you rule all that out and say it's a behavioral issue.
Okay.
Oh, back to hot spots
the
again.
cat. Yeah.
The cat.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So cats can get allergies. They can itch and lick their area, their feet, their belly. But if it's not actually inflamed, infected, and they're not itchy anywhere else, a lot of time that's behavioral, and it's a manifestation of anxiety and stress.
Okay.
But you got to do the whole workup, the whole dermatology workup to make sure it's not an allergy issue before you say this is psychogenic or in the head. Yep.
How can we be sitting here talking about hot spots? And Ashley, don't you want to tell Dr. Andrea that one of your dogs chewed its own leg off?
She told me on the way in.
I mentioned it to her. I said, "Yeah, I'm the one with the 3-legged one."
Tell us that story again. Why did your dog chew its own leg off?
She got a little cut on one of her back legs, and she ended up getting to it a couple times, and then it was like infection after infection, and she just would not stop consuming her own leg. And
so
then,
now they ended up having to chop some of it off, right?
Yep. They did reconstructive surgery first, and that lasted for about 3 years. And finally, they were like, the bones are starting to dissolve. We just got to get rid of her leg. And now she is a completely different dog. I've never seen her this happy. It's crazy.
Dr. Andrea, in your professional opinion, she got herself a dumb dog, didn't she?
Or do we blame Ashley for this?
I mean, I'll tell you, it sounds super barbaric, right, to amputate a limb, but they do amazing. They can get around and they're much happier because they feel better.
Yeah. What is it about dogs and cats to where, I mean, they just kind of move on so easily?
Yeah, they're pretty resilient.
Yeah.
It was pretty interesting. When it did happen, the vet was very excited to see if she had any phantom limb syndromes.
Yep.
And she does sometimes. Like, she'll go to bite her leg and it's not there. And she looks at me like, what the heck?
That's kind of creepy.
Yeah, that is a thing.
Phantom leg.
This person says, I brush my dog's teeth often. Why does he still have terrible breath?
Yeah, I get that question a lot. So unfortunately in dogs and in cats, a lot of oral disease is genetics. Feeding hard food is good for their teeth, but it all depends on the pH of the saliva, the type of bacteria in the mouth. So some dogs, regardless of how much you brush their teeth, still need professional teeth cleanings where you go in and anesthetize and scale their teeth. More than anything, it's genetics, pending the breed too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. What about a 16-year-old cat with diabetes? They say already give him shots 2 times a day. Random days a week, though, he'll pee by his litter box. Do you think we need to up his insulin dosage, or is something else going on?
Yeah, I'd for sure check his insulin or his glucose curve first. Make sure that he's not running too high. Cats with diabetes are susceptible to urinary tract infections too, so I'd make sure he doesn't have a urinary tract infection. It depends on how many litter boxes you have in the house too. The rule of thumb is how many cats you have plus 1. If you have 1 cat, you should have 2 litter boxes.
Oh, really?
I had no idea.
Yeah.
We got that cooking at the house.
Do you?
Good to know.
And I'm in charge of cleaning them out, which is a lot of fun.
So fun.
I actually don't mind cleaning litter boxes.
What?
Yeah.
That's a horrible smell.
I don't do that either.
Well, I'm not like into the smell or anything, but you got the clumps. It's kind of fun. It's like
Wapple
playing
just-
in the sand as a kid.
I get it.
Look what
Wapple
I
just
found.
wet his pants over there when he heard that.
I need a new litter box changing.
You know what? If we lived closer, I'd change it for you, pal.
Wow. So many questions coming in for our guest, Dr. Andrea. We could settle something real quick before we move on. Let's just settle it. Everyone loves their pets. Everyone thinks their pet is special. But Dr. Andrea, me and my friggin' wife, our current dog, Gertie, she is the cutest dog that's ever lived, right?
Yeah, she's the best.
So there you go. The argument is over.
She is the best. She's such a snuggler.
Snuggle.
I don't think she's touched the ground, honestly.
Nope.
Oh,
So
sweet.
that's it. No more, oh, my dog is so cute. You heard it from a veterinarian, for God's sake. She runs the business. She's been in the business for years. It's my dog is the cutest of all time. We do have a question that deals with genitalia. We do.
Here we go.
Dr. Andrews, it says. No, it's Dr. Andrea. My dog has a large fatty deposit that keeps getting bigger and bigger on her vulva. My hometown vet said it needs to be removed, but it'll be about $4,000.
Oh, man.
We don't want to put her down. We don't have that kind of money. Do you have any advice?
Well, I think first and foremost, I'd confirm that it's a fatty lump or a lipoma. So either have it biopsied, just taking a small sample of it, but that's a tough area. That it gets a little more into kind of the plastic surgery of things to remove it without causing any damage to that area, nerve damage, or issues resulting in incontinence. So that's why it's expensive, because it's not an easy surgery. But I'd make sure it's not a cancerous thing too.
Right. Look into it.
Yep.
See what you can find out. What are some of the things that veterinarians can do for dogs or cats these days that wasn't available recently. You know, some of the new stuff. I mean, some of this stuff is just miraculous. What were we talking about a minute ago? A prosthetic leg and this and that.
It's
I mean,
crazy.
What
Yeah.
are some of the things that when you first started just weren't a possibility, but now?
I mean, they're starting to do kidney dialysis at, I think, University of North Carolina or NC State. They're starting to do dialysis for dogs and cats. Actually, they are starting to do cloning of pets as well.
What? No way.
Wait a
Get
minute.
my hands on this. How much money? They can have it all.
Somebody tie Ashley down before we have 33-legged dogs running around her neighborhood.
Or it's going to be Jurassic Park all over again.
Yeah, right?
Cloning pets. Yeah. So after their pet dies, they can bring one back that.
Well, yeah, typically we have seen a few cases where you actually take tissue biopsies of the pet and then you send it into a lab.
Dude.
Obviously, we have no connection with the actual cloning process, but we take the tissue samples to send it in.
Freaky, isn't it, Josh?
Yeah, it is freaky.
It's amazing what they can do.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but I would love to know your thoughts on when somebody comes in and does something like that.
Well, I mean, so the interesting thing is there's that whole concept of nature versus nurture, right? So are you going to get the exact same dog? Do you want the dog because of the looks or do you want the dogs because of its temperament, right? And you never know what you're going to get temperament-wise, and it's all about how it's grown up, socialized, all those things. So is cloning going to give you the dog that you actually want?
Yeah, we've all seen Pet Cemetery, haven't we?
Yeah.
Oh, true.
That's what I thought of.
That's what would freak me out.
Yep.
I also think there are enough pets in this world that need homes, unfortunately, that we could help the rescue population
There
too.
you go.
Yes.
There you go. That's a good point. That's a good point. Especially, at least the stories I hear, is, when COVID hit town and everyone was staying at home, they wanted to rush out and get a companion, and they got a dog, and then they didn't know how to care for the dog, and then the shelters got packed.
Yep.
This person says when you clone a dog, it's Jurassic Bark.
Oh my gosh. That's a dad joke.
To Jurassic. I love dad jokes, so thank you for sending that in.
Well, I'll tell you what, we got to wrap her up, but really, honestly, Dr. Andrea, this has been a lot of fun.
Super fun. Thank you.
We appreciate you coming by.
Yeah.
We hope you join us again.
I'd love to.
And appreciate all the text messages that came in. Oh, my God.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to have you back. If you want to come back, we'd love to have you.
I'm in. I loved it. Super fun.
You got any big plans on the weekend?
Oh, gosh. Lots of hockey.
Hockey. Summer hockey?
Yeah.
That's fun.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do you want to pimp anything? But maybe that's an inappropriate way to put it. Is there anything you'd like to promote on the way out here? Or any final thoughts?
No, thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it.
We did too.
Thank you.
We'll see you
great.
again soon.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Before we go, congrats to Late to the Party Jesus. She hit a month alcohol-free yesterday and says only a lifetime to go. That's a great start. Happy birthday to Corbin, turning 10 today from Dad, Frame Electric Jesus. Happy 42nd to Podcast Reverend Jesus. And to everybody else, have a great and safe weekend.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
It is savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's State Fair specials. Deals on deals on deals that can save you thousands. Visit standardheating.com for all their State Fair deals. Standard Heating, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930.